Anyways, hello everyone, welcome on in. It's time for more Chaos Child. If you were God and your delusions could become reality, what delusions would you wish for? Essential world, despotic society, destructive sanctions, or the delusional science avenger? Very fun. Anyways, I don't know why I felt inclined to read that, but I did. Wow, no thoughts, head empty. Right. So, goal is to knock out chapter 1, because I don't think there's that much left, but, like, last time it was way too tired, so I understand why I stopped where I did. So, yeah, then the goal is to finish chapter 2 as well. Yeah. I think Akso isn't here anymore, but I wanted to thank Akso, at least verbally, for the raid. Yeah. I did appreciate it. But, oh yeah. I fixed Nightbot for YouTube chat, so Nightbot on YouTube will only eat you if you send links, very much like here. And there's timers, so yeah. I also got rid of the subathon timer from when I was doing subathon, so Nightbot on YouTube, all nicely configured, nice and shiny. Yes. Yeah. I guess without further ado, let's get back into this. New game. It was the wrong button. I'm stupid. Yes. Oop, I didn't mean to fully close the game, though. I'm doing great, don't mind me. I think what happened is like, oh yeah, last week I clicked new game, because you're starting the new game last week. I'm mentally well. Hi. It's okay. It's fine. You don't need a bestie at me. It's fine. You're also mentally well. I mean, out of the two of us, you definitely qualify. Why are you saying, oh boy, you know? Not that it's a competition. Man, I'm so smart. I have so much knowledge. Yep. Your mental state lately is that little fluffy white cat who is you, the plush. I mean, that's not a bad mental state. Speaking of cats, my cat is mowing into a void. No thoughts you can ignore the horrors? Well, you're in the wrong stream then, because this game is full of horrors. Okay. Hello, room guy. Welcome back. We're doing Chaos Child today. Okay, we're hitting continue, not new game. I've learned. Right, we left off of this. Right. I didn't get to quite finish video editing last week's stream, so I didn't remember the exact note we left off on. Crime. Third death in Shibuya could mean serial killers on the loose. New generation. King George Shadow counter-revolutionary at reproduction prohibited. Okay. The 3 suspicious deaths in Shibuya this month line up with the dates of New Generation Madness. A 4th death is predicted to occur on 10/10. Source Shibuya News 9:30 update. Link. 2437. New Generation Madness? Holy shit. First, seriously. That archived. Aw yeah. Hell yes, it's happening, .gif. Somebody call me. Keisan is so smart. Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps. Wow, it was real. How did no one notice? Summary of Keisan's podcast. The dates of the New Generation incident 6 years ago match the 3 deaths so far. If the pattern continues, something will happen on 10/10. September 7th, 2009, group death. September 7th, 2015, don't look. September 19th, 2009, man-child. September 19th, audio bleed. September 29th, crucifixion. September 29th, 2015. I'm skipping years. Wow, I can read good. Love Hotel incident. And then 10/10 and 2009, vampire. And then 10/10, 2015, question mark, question mark, question mark. Festival time. No time to eat. Yeah. Let the carnival of miracles begin. New gen, new gen. If this is true, isn't that scary as shit? I want to know more about the 3rd death. Was it as nasty as audio bleed? Keisan, you're so smart. Let's get married. Whose eyes are those eyes? I got so excited listening to Shibuya news. I fapped her voice 3 times. Could do it twice more. Okay. You probably just listen to this in the background while you play games. Fair enough. Have a fun time doing that. I'm good at words. I had the same feeling. I think this means another earthquake's coming. I want to see the Esper 6 years ago in front of the station. I was in college then. Now I'm unemployed and stay home all day. The fun's about to start again, huh? Shibuya's doomed. I'm Keisan's dad. Sure you are. This means they'll cancel the Restoration Festival. You guys make me sick. People are dead. What the fuck are you so happy about? Don't look. I call BS. I thought Keisan was smarter than this. I'm disappointed. It's been 6 years, and it's time to drag this out again. It's the return of the New Generation madness, and I can't bear it. Actually. Return of the New Generation madness. I don't look. Return of the New Generation madness 2. Oh, it's supposed to be 1. Audio bleed. Return of the New Generation Madness 3. Name coming soon. To be continued? Oh boy. October 1st, 2015, Thursday. The same time. Shibuya Police Station. Would you please just tell me your name and address already? Silence. Are you a student, or do you have a job? You went to that hotel with that man, Kakita, many times, right? How did you know him? Were you dating? If you don't want to talk, feel free to just nod or wave your hand. Just tell me. An officer sank back into her chair in resignation. Shinjo could sympathize. Let me see. You just come to check on her a moment ago, but they'd probably been doing this since yesterday. Locked in an interrogation room, cut off from the outside world, and questioned by multiple officers, most people would lose their cool. They start to wonder what effects their words were having, and focus on every movement of the officer who was taking down notes. Even if it wasn't hot in the room, they'd start to sweat. But this girl didn't respond at all. It probably wasn't because she was used to it. She'd never been interrogated before. The fingerprints they'd taken would have told them who she was. Shinjo-san. Maybe we should take her to a mental hospital, you mean? It made sense. The natural assumption was that the shock of the incident had incapacitated her. Shinjo nodded as if considering it. Any missing persons reports? This is the 2nd day since the incident. She lived in a normal family environment. Someone should have submitted a missing persons report by now. I checked, but no luck. Shinjo watched the girl as he listened to her talk. But the girl didn't move a muscle. Even mentioning her family didn't get us anywhere, huh? The normal ways weren't going to work then. She'd be sent to the hospital by dawn at this rate. Thanks. I'll take care of her, and you can go. The other officer couldn't hide her happiness as she left the room. Damn. Shinjo sat down in the chair she'd been sitting in and took a good look at the girl from the front. She was ignoring him and still looking down at the desk. She didn't even seem to notice or care that the person in front of her had changed. Shinjo remembered his conversation with Momose. After he'd hung up, she'd called back in precisely 3 minutes, just like she'd promised. And then she said, "My kid has a message for you," is what she says. Is that all? What does that even mean? Just ask her. If she acts like you just did, or doesn't say anything, then I'm sorry, but that psychiatric hold is your only option. But if she acts some other way, contact me again. The message didn't make much sense, but he didn't see any other way. And I've got a question for you. There was no response, of course. He continued, uncertain if she was even hearing him. Do you have it but didn't realize it? Or have you never had it? Which is it? Oh boy, your reaction. Her eyes moved. Instead of looking down at the desk, she was looking at Shinjo. Shinjo was surprised, but did his best to hide it. Well. The girl stared at him as if trying to figure him out. And then a moment later... Who are you? Her words were quiet, but sharp. It was the same tone of voice that Shinjo used when he was interrogating a suspect. I'm a detective here at this station. What's your name? She seemed to be thinking about something as she stared at him. Her mannerisms were just like his own, again. It was the same way a detective faced a criminal, trying to gain every scrap of information from what he could see. And then, she slowly opened her mouth. Arimura Hinae. I'm a student at Hekiho Academy. Name drop. I left the RV where I lived alone, and only then did I realize that it was evening. The sunlight must have been pouring into my room, but I hadn't noticed. I didn't really remember when I'd gone to sleep or when I'd woken up. It's okay, right? I looked around and made sure that none of the scenery had changed, then walked up the steps in front of me. Miyashita Park was just a few minutes walk away from Shibuya Station. It was also known as Homeless Park. This is where I lived after I left the dorm. The first floor was a huge parking lot, and the second story had a futsal field and a climbing wall. It has been mostly abandoned during the recovery efforts after the Shibuya earthquake. After the earthquake, people who'd lost their family, or who never had any family to begin with, gathered here en masse. Mitake Park, which was right next door, was supposed to be the evacuation point for this area, but Miyashita had always been a mecca for the homeless, so everyone gathered here. Cat. Mao. Okay, I guess he's gonna ignore me, that's fine. When people gathered, so did many different things. Containers filled with food, blankets, and tents, even the trailer for an RV that was left behind when its owner fled Shibuya. Every part of the park was overhauled to create a place for people to live, the parking lot, the futsal field, the climbing wall, etc. That word again. And the next thing anyone knew, there was a society there that was big enough that the government couldn't force them out. Take that, government. Some groups of idiots came around to try and turn the place into temporary housing. This is shut down in less than a month. As a result, even though you could find beautifully rebuilt skyscrapers just a street away, Miyashita Park became one of Japan's biggest slums, a place where those with no home would gather to stare up at the lights. Can I have this? I spoke to the man who sold newspapers, magazines, and everything else as I picked up a newspaper which had today's date on it, October 1st. No, I didn't see you buying newspapers often, Taku. Sure, take it. Can I? Okay, that's great, but am I saying it right? I don't care what it means, I care more about the pronunciation. You guys should know this by now. You think I am? Okay, good enough for me. I got plenty, so take a look. He showed me the snacks and alcohol at his feet. He must have sold a lot today. There were a lot of people in the park who had enough money that they could have stayed in a capsule hotel if they wanted to. No, if you're going to throw it away, do it somewhere else. They're getting annoying about garbage. I thanked him and went to leave. Hey, Taku, I have to pay the electric bill? Yeah, that's right. And then pay mine too. Tell them it's from Matcha on the south side. Matchan. I can read, maybe. He handed me a 1,000 yen bill. I nodded, took it, and headed deeper into the park with my newspaper. No, so his name was Matchan? Miyashita Park was divided into north and south halves by a road. If he said he was from the south, that must mean there was a Matchan on the north side who I hadn't met yet. The administrative office on the south side. Just like the name implied, it was where all the administration was done for Miyashita Park. It kept things peaceful between the government and the park occupants, resolved disputes between the homeless, and maintained all the facilities at the park. I knew the woman there by her face, but not her name. I gave her the electric bill, which was due on the 1st of the month, along with Machan's part. Life in the park might seem carefree and lawless from the outside, but it was actually much stricter than you'd find in some families. No, right, thanks. Nobody's going over their territory trying to move in, right? Everyone who lived on the outer rim of the park, including me, since I lived on the far south, had been asked by the management to keep an eye out for that. But I think it's okay. When I'd looked earlier, I hadn't seen anything change out around my place. Okay, it's rough out there lately, so take care. If you see someone you don't know, tell me right away. Huh? You know about what happened in the Love Hotel, right? Yes, I understand. I was startled, but quickly nodded. I suddenly felt like they were criticizing me for hiding something. In the corridor that connected the north and south ends off the park, this place, which overlooked Meiji-dori, was the one part that hadn't really changed since before the earthquake. There were cracks here and there, but the government had forbidden people to put things here because it would ruin the view and might not be safe. I leaned up against the rail and spread open the newspaper with the setting sun shining down on me. There was a column on the front page about the Love Hotel incident, but no new information. There's nothing in the article about the girl who was found at the scene, or how this could be related to what happened 6 years ago. Had they not figured that out yet? Or maybe they had, and they just weren't announcing it. If it had something to do with the incidents from 6 years ago, then so did Don't Look and Audio Bleed. Did that mean they weren't suicides? If the killer had driven them to suicide, it was probably the same person behind 3 incidents, but was he working alone or part of a group? Or maybe people who were somehow related to the incidents from 6 years ago were killing themselves one after another. Maybe I should look at what the 3 cases had in common again. Damn it, what the hell? My hand went up to the new bandage on my cheek. I rubbed it several times to make sure that it was still there. Hello, Flower, welcome on in. How's it going? I took out my smartphone. The data I recorded at the scene had been deleted by the police. I probably should have just counted myself lucky they didn't take the phone itself. I lost my biggest clue to the case. Maybe that's a sign that I should just give this up. Maybe this is just out of my league. Maybe it would be stupid to get involved. No. Suddenly, I got a call on my phone. I checked the name and hit the answer button.
Hi.
Yes, hello.
もしもし。
No, it's just you, peasant. They're here, at the usual seat. I don't know what's going on, but okay.
どうも。
Thanks. As always, the waitress's appearance and manners were a mystery to me. I bowed to her and went to my seat. Sarika was there already, reading a manga. She was fiddling with her Gyro Froggy's cell phone strap without realizing it. As usual, I could read. It was a strange habit, and a nuisance to the people around her. Cafe Lax, the preferred hangout of the newspaper club, was just a 10-minute walk away from Shibuya Station. The owner was a manga fan, and the walls were lined up with many volumes. There was free Wi-Fi, the prices were good, and if it wasn't crowded, you could sit there for hours as long as you bought a single drink. That's cool. The most important part was that since it was in a hard-to-find spot, barely anybody from Heiko knew about it. So I didn't have to worry about running into anyone I knew. As usual, there was barely anyone there. Just a single couple that appeared to be in college. I ordered my usual Mountain View and sat down.
何読んでるんだ?
What are you reading? Taku. I'm not sure what this is.
なんだろうこれ?
Huh? I just grabbed it off the shelf. That's fair. Sariko went and put the manga back on the shelf. They came back and sat back down. Here, this is your uniform. Non-chan told me to clean it, so I did.
悪いな。
Thanks. I took the bag containing my uniform from Sarika. It was the uniform that had gotten covered with blood at the Love Hotel.
今日学校
Did you go to school today?
行ってないよ。
No. Neither did you, right? I nodded. I hadn't felt like it at all.
のんちゃんたちに
Did he
連絡
contact
は
Non-chan and Chin-chan?
メールはし
I
とい
sent
た。
them a text. When I got up this morning, I sent both of them a text saying that I was okay. They both sent back responses almost immediately, but neither of them said much about what happened. They probably weren't mentioning it for my sake.
で、
So,
どうだ?
how are you doing?
大丈
You
夫か?
okay?
うん、ま
Yeah,
あ
I guess.
死んでる
It
人を見
wasn't
る
my
のは
first time seeing a
初め
dead
てじゃ
body.
ないし。
Did I read that right? Yeah, okay, I did. Sarika spoke in a normal tone of voice as she drank her favorite grapefruit juice. She didn't seem like she was lying. And that's how she's always been ever since she was a kid. It wasn't that she didn't have any feelings, she just got over them very quickly.
タクは
What about you,
大丈
Taku?
夫?
You okay? Now that she asked, I wasn't sure how to answer the question. The waitress brought me my Mountain View. I nodded and took it. Was I okay?
嘘マジで
No way, seriously? That's terrible.
マジマジ
Seriously, I couldn't believe it. What a dumbass, right? I spun the ice in my drink as I listened to the couple's irritating conversation. Sarika silently waited for my answer. I knew that face. She'd been my friend since we were kids. There's no point in trying to hide it. To be honest,
正直言うと
I'm not sure.
迷ってる。
Hmm?
迷ってるって
I'm not sure about what.
何を
事件を追うか
About
どうか。
whether I should keep pursuing the case. Sarika seemed genuinely shocked.
え
Huh?
本当
Really?
すいません
Excuse me.
グレープフ
I
ルー
like
ツ
another thing
もう
of
一つ
grapefruit juice. Sarika raised her hand and ordered another drink.
いつものタクだった
Normally
ら
you'd say that this is your big chance and rush right in, right?
走ってない
And that might be true, but things were different this time, after what I'd gone through.
そりゃ
I mean,
Hotel
sure,
は
what happened at the
分かったけど
hotel
さ
was scary, but... Sarika continued, as if she knew exactly what I was thinking.
昔
I remember how
都市伝説
scary it
と
was
か追っ
when
かけてた
we
時
used to
も
go
そうだった
chasing
じゃん
after urban
ほ
legends.
ら
I remember how you
冒険だ
snuck
って
into
言
that
って
hospital
病院に
because it was
忍
an
び込んだの
adventure.
覚えてる
I nodded. And I just had a dream about it.
あの時も
That was scary
怖かったけど
But even when
あの
you were
怖さは
crying, you said that the
他の人
terror
が
was
経
something
験してない
special
もんなんだ
because nobody else had
貴重なんだっ
experienced
て
it.
泣きながらさ
お
You
前
were
も
crying
泣いてた
back
じゃ
then
ん
too.
あの時。
そうだっけ
Was I?
ほれ
Here,
残すなよ
finish it all.
どうも
Oh, thanks. Sarika took her glass of juice and gulped it down. Horrible, so true. So,
お
hmm?
いや
I mean,
それで
so
何が
what? Come on.
あそっか
Oh, right.
あだから
So
さ
anyway,
他
I
の人
figured you'd
が
say
経
that
験
since
して
you'd
ない
had
こ
an
とを手に入
experience
れ
that
たん
no
だ
one
から
else
さ
had,
それ
and
が
that even if it
怖
was
かろうが
scary,
なんだ
that
ろう
this
が
is your big
チャンスだ
chance.
ってタクなら言うかなって思って
Her voice was light as she drank her juice, but her words didn't feel light at all. Something other people hadn't experienced. Something different from other people.
たまに頭いいんだか
Sometimes, I
悪い
don't
ん
know
だ
if
か
she's
わから
smart
な
or
くなるよ
dumb.
な。
I stared at Sarika's face. How much did she understand about what she was saying?
何
What?
あ
Oh,
ダメだ
no.
よ
You can't
あ
have
げない
any.
よ
She moved the juice away from me. I was wrong. She probably didn't realize anything. Actually, she probably wasn't even thinking about anything. She really was dumb. She's just like me for real.
バイトにんなこと
I
言
don't
われて
know
も
about
ね
hearing that from a part-timer.
だろ
Right?
やる気が
Does
ない
he
のかっ
not
て
just give it?
ね
Does he
え
just
よ
not give a
普通
damn?
に
Well, normally. Why would he?
なあ
Hey,
渋谷地震の
did
被
I ever
災者
tell
の
you
コメン
about
ト
the
の
comments
話
from
っ
the
てしたこと
shibuya
あったっけ
earthquake victims?
う
Hmm?
何
What
そ
do you
れ
mean? I was pretty sure I told her a bunch of times. Well, whatever. Time for a lecture. That makes a lot more sense. I don't know why I first read lecture as lettuce in my head. Lettuce is very incorrect. Time for a lettuce! Please.
地震直後の混乱
Remember
が収ま
how,
った
just
後
after the chaos from the earthquake
大量の
calmed
マスコミ
down,
が
a ton of
被災
reporters
者に対
started
して押し
asking the
かけただ
victims
ろ
for comments?
まだ
Before the
カオス
term
チャイルド
chaos
症候
child
群者
syndrome
っていう
existed.
言葉がなかった頃に。
And of course, I'd been in a coma for about a year after the earthquake, so I'd only investigated after I woke up.
その取材の論
Most of the
調の多
interviews
く
were
は
about what good
民度の
citizens we
高さを
were,
訴えるものだ
despite
っ
the
た。
scale of the disaster.
これ
There
だ
was
けの
barely
震
any
災にもか
violence
かわ
or
らず
looting.
暴
They
動
said
や
that it
略
was
奪などの
amazing.
犯罪がほとんど起きていない。これは得難いことなんだって。実際そうなん
And
だ
I
と
think they
思う
were
よ。
right.
何が今一
When
番
they
辛
asked
い
the
ですかっ
victims what
て
was the
聞かれた
hardest
時、
part, most people were
大半の被災
concerned
者が
about others
地
instead
方の
of
家族に自
themselves.
分の無事を伝えてやれないこととか、子供に好物
And
を
they talked
与えてや
about
れ
how
な
they
いこと
couldn't
とか、
contact their families
とに
and
か
tell
く
them they were
他
safe,
人を
and
心配して
how
て
they
さ。
couldn't get their children their favorite foods.
でも
But then one
そんな
person
中
said
で一
something
人の被災
different.
者が言ったんだよ。
I remembered what they said, word for word. It had left a huge impression on me.
頑張れ。
And you outsiders have some
To you,
nerve if
Bugaisha.
you're telling us to hang in there.
正
To
直
be
うなずい
honest,
たよ。
I agreed completely.
心底。
And they said exactly what I was thinking. I didn't know who they were, but I admired them anyway. Those feelings were the exact opposite of all the excited, fired up people on the outside.
これを言った人は
I
僕に
think
近
whoever
い人
said
だ
that
って
was
いう気
someone
がする
close
ん
to
だ。
me. Not someone who
ただ
just saw
一
the
連の
whole
出
thing
来
on
事を
the
ネットで
internet.
見ていた他
Not
人とは
someone
違
who
う。
just happened to be caught up in the
そして
earthquake.
ただ被災しただけの人とも違う。
タクの
You mean
両
one
親
of
の
your
こと
parents?
あ、そういえば
Oh, hey.
復興祭合わ
The
せ
guys
の
from
に
the tennis
エニ
club
さ
said
んの
they're
連中も
coming
来るって
to the drinking party after the festival.
マジで
Seriously? Oh,
そしたら
then we
絶対
definitely won't
宅飲み
be
じゃ
able to
無理
drink
じ
at
ゃん。
home. And it was different. It was different than the people who just lived normal lives in Shibuya. I ripped the bandage off my cheek. The wound had closed out. My face was back to normal. I was back to normal. The case was right in front of me. I had a huge mystery to investigate. I wasn't about to just be caught up in something. As a right-sider, it was my job to jump right into the middle of all this information, right? I could feel something like excitement mixed with a sense of duty welling up inside me. I couldn't stop myself from smiling. You might be put in danger
また危
again.
険な目に遭うかもしれないぞ。
お
Huh?
事
You
件
mean
の
the
こと
case? I nodded. Sarika laughed, a little strangely. And then, for some reason, she patted me lightly on the shoulder. I didn't know what that meant, but I started to laugh too. Sarika nodded.
よし
Alright,
それな
let's
ら
start
ま
with
ず
the
ラ
love hotel
ブホテ
case
ルの
then.
事件から行こっか。
Sarika took out her Pokecom. She typed it in with a practiced hand. She seemed to be loading a video file.
なんだそれ。
What's this?
これ
This?
現場
This
で
is
タ
the
クが
video you
撮って
took
た
at
録
the
画
scene.
データ。
I uploaded
警
it
察
to an
に
online
消される
storage
前
site
に
before the
ストレ
police
ージに上げ
deleted
て
it.
おいたの。
Okay. There you go. Oh my god, I know, right? Damn. A cute little wink before the fade out, too. By the time I got back home, the sun had long since set, and it was past 8 p.m. I realized that I barely eaten anything since arriving at the Love Hotel, and it suddenly felt very hungry. So I'd eaten a meal at LAX, or LAX.
そういえば、この
Hey,
間来た
I've
時か
been
ら
wondering
気
since
に
the
なって
last
たん
time I
だけど
came here.
電気ポット
Did you
変
change
わ
your
った
hot water
前
pot?
はもっ
It
と
used to be more...
こ
Oh,
こ
you
物
made
置
this
に
into
し
a
たんだ。
closet. Sarika had followed me home. She started to glance around the room and offered her opinions on the way it was laid out. She would open drawers and be surprised even though there was nothing important inside, or looked at new files about the cases and tell me their contents at a glance. She always was a little strange like that. She'd be surprised by the most obvious things, but sometimes she would show startling insight. And wait,
なんかテン
You're
ショ
really
ン高い
excited
な
about something, aren't you? Cute. She laughed another strange laugh.
事件を追うのが
Is
楽
it
しい
that
の
much
か
fun to try and solve this case?
と
It's
いう
more
よ
like
り
it feels
ま
wrong
だ
to give
やり
up
た
on
いこと
something
は
you want to
でき
do
るところ
until
まで
you've
いか
really
ないと
given it your
気
all.
持ち悪いだけ。結果はどう
No
あ
matter
れ
how it ends up,
そうじゃない
it's the
と
only
意
way
味ない
anything
じゃん。
matters.
人
You're
間
going to die
いつ死ぬ
someday,
かわ
but you
かんない
aren't
んだ
dead
か
right
ら。
now.
せっかく今死んでないのに。
I mean, you're not wrong, but damn. I see, I thought. She was right. The sound came from my PC. And the copy operation was finished.
Oh.
Okay.
よし
Now delete the
そした
original
ら
of the online
元のスト
storage.
レージのやつは削除してくれ
お
Huh?
なんで
Why?
物が物
Just
だから
because of
な
what it is.
他
I
の
don't want
人間に
anybody
見られた
seeing
ら困る
it.
このストレー
This
ジ
is my private
私が
storage,
個人的
so
に
it
使
should
って
be
るやつ
okay.
だから大丈夫だよ。
それで
And
も
even
だ
so, I want there to be
誰
no
でもアク
chance
セ
that
スできる
someone
可
else
能
can
性は少
access
しでも
it.
潰しておきた
And
い
actually, delete the one on your
そうだな。
Pokécom too.
お前のポケコンのやつも念のため削除してくれ
オッケ
Okay,
ー。タク
Taku,
何
what
し
are
て
you
るの
doing? Oh boy, first illusion of the night, let's go. Do I remember what buttons to press? The answer is no. Let's refresh. Okay, it's Z and C. Gotcha. Okay, I tried X, so no wonder that didn't work. Okay. She looked over at me while she rifled through my bookcases.
カッコン島を作る
I'm making kakkonto. Don't know what that is, but okay.
カッコンと
Kakkonto?
え
Huh?
どこ
What kind
の
of food
島
is that? Are you serious?
飲み物だよ
It's a herbal tea.
Gensan にもらった。
Gensan gave it to me.
吐き気を
It
抑
keeps
え
you
る
from
効果があるん
vomiting.
だ
へえ
Wow.
よく
I'm
知ってる
amazed you know
ね
about something like that. And then some information I'd found before flashed across my mind. Of course, it was from Cool Cat Press. I'd read about it in a certain special they'd run. If you put eye drops into a beer, it'd make a girl feel aroused. At the time, I hadn't believed it. In another issue, they'd said that if you put eye drops in soda, it would make a girl go to sleep. Adding eye drops into a drink would create unusual side effects. I'd heard a rumor that it was just an urban legend, though. But what would happen if you put eye drops in kakonto? There's a stupid teenage girl who didn't even know what kakonto was right in front of me. Should I try it? Why is he like this? I prepared 2 cups like it was the most natural thing in the world, and poured out the kakonto I'd made. And then, being very careful not to let Serika see me, I took the eye drops off the shelf. Now, to just add a few drops of it to this, and maybe it would be enough to arouse even Serika. I tried adding a few drops. But wait a second. Cool Cat Press hadn't said anything about how much to use. So I had no idea how much it would take to get any effect. I felt like you would need more than a few drops. Okay, I just have to add the whole bottle. Please. And the problem was how to make sure Serika didn't see me.
今お前の分も
I'm
作っ
gonna
てやる
make
から
yours
座
now,
って待っ
so
てろ
just
よ
sit there and wait.
本当
Really?
ありがとう
Thanks. I've never had
カッコン
kakont
とって
before.
初めて飲むな
Serika did just what I told her. So easy. Well, she sat on the sofa. I went around to where she couldn't see me and opened the lid on the eye drops, then poured the whole bottle in.
お待たせ
Here you go. My heart felt like it was pounding fast. I tried to act normal as I handed her the cup.
え、
Bleh.
結構
It
すごい
smells
匂いだ
terrible.
ね。
Like
薬
medicine.
みたい。
Oh shit.
いや、
Well,
カッコン糖って
Kokonto is
元
herbal
々漢方薬だ
medicine
し
anyway.
そういう
It
匂
was
い
just how it smells.
健康に
It's
は
probably
良さ
really
そう。
good for you. Siriko laughed. It was lucky for me that she was so stupid. Okay,
いただきます。
time to try it out. She put the cup to her lips with no hesitation. And then... she started coughing. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. I must have added the wrong amount. I'll have to tell her what I did later and apologize.
大丈夫か
Are you okay? Siriko wouldn't stop coughing. Her body was twisting in pain. The cup fell to the floor and spilled the kakonto everywhere.
熱く
Hot.
おどえ
Oh no, wait. Hey! This wasn't normal.
どうしたんだよ
What's wrong? And then, all too suddenly, she coughed up blood. The red liquid stained the sofa, the floor, and me. What the
な
hell?
んだよこれ
Was I not supposed to mix Kokonto and eye drops? Well, no shit, but... Did I accidentally make something poisonous?
おどえ
No, no, wait.
What?
Hey! I tried to pat her back when her eyes suddenly rolled up into her head. She started to spasm and shake. All I could do was watch and shock. Then she fell onto the bed, face up, and stopped moving. Blood was still dripping from the side of her mouth.
おどえ
No, no way. She wasn't breathing.
嘘だろ
You're kidding me.
死んだなんて
It's dead.
嘘って言って
Tell me
くれ
it's not true.
何が？
Huh? What's not true? Oh dear. Les made something poisonous more. One of your ingredients is poisonous. Yeah. Do pull a whole bottle too.
は
Huh? Zariko was looking at me, her head tilted in surprise. There was no blood or drool dripping from her mouth, and her eyes weren't rolled into the back of her head.
嘘って何
I'll
の
tell you
話？
what's not true.
あ
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
なん
nothing.
でもない
もしかして
Are you lying to me
私に
about
何か
something?
嘘ついてる？
そういうん
That's
じゃ
not
ないっ
it.
て
Don't worry about it.
うー
Okay.
オッケー。
Sarika just did what I told her. I couldn't tell if she was obedient or just didn't care. But for now, I was saved. I took a drink from the cup of kakonto in my hands. It didn't taste like medicine. I hadn't been able to find any eye drops on the shelf, so I'd just given it to her normally. I was wrong to think about experimenting on her friend. Yeah.
それにしても
Anyway,
ゲンさんいい人
Gensan's
だよ
such a
ね。
nice guy.
好
I
きだ
like
な
him.
私。
酒
I wish
癖
he
の悪
wouldn't
さは
get
どう
so
にかして
get
ほしい
drunk
け
so
どな
often though.
でも、タク
But
は
he's
公
your
園
only
で
real
気
friend
許
here at
し
the
てるのっ
park,
て
right?
ゲンさんだけでし
So
ょ？
he really is a good
やっぱ
guy.
りいい人だよ。
Was that why? Well, he did help me out a lot.
オッケー。
Okay,
削除
it's
したよ。
deleted. Sarika put away her Pokecom. Alright. I booted up my laptop next to the wall and sat down in the chair that folded out into a bed. As I went to load the video file into the player software, I happened to glance at its length.
26分
26 minutes?
そん
Were
な
we
にあの部
really
屋
in
にい
that
た
room
か
for that long? Is this one of those house cars? Yeah, he's in an RV. No, Sarika said.
違うと思う。
I don't think
あ
so.
の時、タ
Right after you passed out, the police arrived, but I felt really sick and started throwing up. At some point I grabbed your phone and put it in my
いつ
pocket.
の間にかタクが落としたスマホを自分のポケットに入れてて、それで
And then,
警察
when
に
I
連
was in
れ
the
てかれ
police
るパ
car,
トカーの
I
中
realized
で
that I
ス
had
マ
it.
ホのことに気づい
And
て、
that's when I stopped it from
そこ
recording
で私が
anymore.
録画ボタンを止めたから。
So that was it. And come to think of it, I hadn't asked her how it had happened. I'm amazed you had time to upload it to the storage before the police deleted it. Sarika nodded, as if she felt the same way.
たまたまだよ。
It was blind luck.
警察に着
When we
いた
got
時
to the
に
station,
また
I
気持
felt
ち
sick
悪くなっちゃ
again,
って、
so I
トイレ
ran
に
to the
駆け込んで、
bathroom, and that's when I got the idea.
って思いついたの。
いや、
No, I'm
すごい
really
と思う。
impressed. It really was. I'd passed out in the hotel, and the next thing I knew, I was at the station. Supposedly, I walked from the patrol car to my room, but my memory was vague and hazy. I took a big sip from the cup to force down my urge to vomit, and slowly let it sink into my stomach. If the recording was successful, then I should see what I saw back then. It happened only 2 days ago, but it had left such a strong impression on me that it didn't feel like that much time had happened. Blah blah blah. I can read. It had happened only 2 days ago, but it had left such a strong impression on me that it didn't feel like that much time had passed at all. I took a deep breath and told myself it was time to do this. I looked over at Sarika. Hi Relix, welcome to YouTube chat. Yeah. There it goes. I about took a sweet time. She nodded back at me and then looked at the monitor. Okay. I tried to steady my slightly shaking finger as I clicked the file. And the first thing I noticed was that sound. And the peaceful sound of a music box that filled the room, coming from that spinning bed. Yes, it is YouTube chat. Thought it looked a little unfamiliar. Relix. A dark, gloomy room. It had a curtain in the back, and a rotating bed behind it. It was that room. The same emotions I experienced before came flooding back to me through the blurry screen. I could sense my own hesitation from my gasping breaths. Sarika grabbed my shoulder at the sudden sound. It's okay. I think that's just where I made the floor creak. Oh, yeah. I see. The camera was slowly moving toward the back of the room. At some point, my breathing matched my breathing from the recording. You looked away for like 3 minutes. Where are we now? They're playing back a video from a Love Hotel. Don't worry about it. It scared me, so I pulled away a little and took a deep breath to isolate myself from the person in the video. I heard that sound. The sound of the wire creaking as the bed spun. I could feel the panic coming through the screen. I wasn't sure what to do. I'm going to keep going. I could tell that Sarika was gulping a little. As I spoke, the camera kept moving forward. I could hear Sarika's soft gasp in the video. The police officer and that woman were lying on the floor. I hadn't realized it at the time. The glass was scattered all around. Oh god. The camera quickly panned without warning. Is this our first tip of the night? I think it is. No. I didn't notice those before. Pan, video recording term, refers to fixing the camera in a single location while changing the direction it faces. Phantasm, fictional, a gothic punk band that was popular in Shibuya around 2009. It's a group of 4, but only the names of the vocalist Fess and the guitarist Ryo have been made public. Even in 2015, Phantasm still has some passionate fans. Parent page, the first and typically most broad web page of a website. Following the parent page, secondary pages known as child pages go into more detail about specific information presented in the primary page, and tertiary pages called grandchild pages go into more detail about specific information presented in the secondary page. This website structure is incredibly popular with news organizations. What type of tip is pan? That's what you cook food on. It's in the context of camera panning, though, so that's why. Group home, a small residential facility that serves as a home for those who require care in some way, most often children. Group homes are typically limited to a maximum of 6 people, and since these facilities are often the homes of private individual families, they are said to offer more personalized care to those living in them. And was that bed? The silhouette behind the curtain was probably that man. The angle was off and wasn't pointing directly at the bed. At that point, I stopped paying attention to the smartphone. Oh, let's get out of here. Now. I heard a dull thud and the screen went black. Huh? Did you drop it?
多分
Probably. It seemed like I tripped and fallen backward. The phone had probably fallen from my hands. Was it black because the camera had fallen face down? Itsaku, the door won't open. Sarika's voice sounded like it was a little far away. The smartphone was still picking up sound, evidently. I could hear myself trying to open the door and swearing when I failed. That's right, I'd been fighting with the door then. And then. My body shivered as if it had gone in. This was... I could hear it. Hey, you heard that too, right? Yeah. You could hear it. The police said the surveillance cameras hadn't shown anyone else coming into the room, but I could hear it. That constant rhythmic knocking. Somehow, it made me feel uneasy and scared. Someone had been on the other side of that door. And suddenly, the screen moved. Itsaku, we need to get out of here. It was showing the man on the bed. The screen was blurry, but the man was almost exactly in the center of the viewfinder. Had I picked up the smartphone? I couldn't remember. Taku. In the video, I ignored Sarika's voice and kept pointing the camera at the man. I could hear my own rough breathing, and I remembered how it had felt then. Then suddenly, I heard a snap. The screen moved violently for a second, and then for a moment it showed the girl. Then the angle changed again and it stopped moving. The screen was covered in red blood, but...
天井
is that the ceiling?
か
What I was looking at was probably the room ceiling. Since it didn't move at all, this was probably where I'd passed out and dropped it. Just like before, the camera was still recording the sound. I could hear Sarika vomiting, and what sounded like someone falling over. What? Hey, what happened here? It got the police officers running into the room. They were asking Sarika what was going on. She was probably the only one there who was still conscious. Shortly after, the screen went black. Sarika had probably put the phone into her pocket, just like she'd said. I could hear an irritating noise that must have been the sound of the phone scraping the skirt's fabric. The screen stayed black, but it kept picking up the nearby sound. Then at the very end, there was a quick shot of the inside of a patrol car. I realized that at some point, I leaned my body toward the screen. I sat back in my chair. I know what was going to happen, but this was still hard. To be honest, I was lucky that the phone was dropped and a lot of it wasn't clearly recorded. I didn't feel as much of an urge to vomit as I'd expected, but I was still sweating from a nasty, unpleasant feeling. I gulped down the last bit of liquid in my cup.
Onoe,
You okay? On the
大丈夫か?
way. I asked Sarika. And then...
ねえタク、
Hey, Taku.
最後のとこ
Did you see something
何
weird
か
at the end of
変
the
なの
video?
映ってなかった？
何?
What? Weird. The whole thing was weird. Not a second of it was normal.
部屋の奥に
Once
進
you
んで
went
から
further
さ
into the room. Sarika moved the mouse to rewind the video. I couldn't tell whether she was tough, simply dense, or maybe just felt like it was nothing but a video, but she advanced through the shocking scenes with no hesitation. Here,
ここ
look.
これ
Outside
こ
the
れ
window.
窓の外
あ?
Whoa. I could see the wall of the Love Hotel across the street from the open window. And there was something there.
なんだ?
What is this?
これ.
虫か
A
な
bug, maybe?
こんなでかい
And there's
虫
a
がいたら
bug that big in it.
クルスが
Kurisu
建物ご
would
と
go and
爆破
blow
し
up
に
the
来る
whole
ぞ。
building. She hated bugs.
じゃあいたずら書
Maybe
き
some graffiti? That was her first answer a bug, and her second answer the sensible one.
いや、
No, wait.
ちょっと待って。
I've seen this before.
なんかどっかで。
I switched from my player software to my editing software, and then blew up that part of the screen. Damn it. I could make it out, but it was so far away that it was blurry. The resolution was too low.
虫じゃ
See? It is a
羽
bug.
広げてる
It's spreading its wings.
違うって。
It is not. I'm sure I've seen this
なんかどっか
somewhere
で見た気
before.
が。
What? I turned around at the loud noise. Hello? I've returned. Sorry to keep you waiting on me. There's a drunk man with a bottle of booze in his hand. Give me a break. Of course, no one had been waiting for him.
もっと静
Make
かに
less
入っ
noise
てき
when
て
you
よ。
come in. Hey, Gensan.
この前は
Thanks for your help.
この
What
前
do you mean by help?
ラブホテルの
You
事
told me
件の
about
こ
that
と
thing with the Love
教え
Hotel,
てくれたじゃ
remember?
ん
Oh, did I?
そうだったか
Well, doesn't matter. Something happened? Great.
事件かよかった
Taku
な
wants to be a reporter
タクは
after
新
all.
聞記者になりたいんだからな
Buddy. No, I didn't. According to Gun, every day I supposedly wanted to be a different thing. Last time it was a movie director.
ようはただ
I
い
have
ま帰った
returned.
ぞ
Hey, let me hear your
タ
Taku.
よく聞け
Look what I got my hands
世が
on.
世である
Let me
ために
remember that I'm
今
me,
日は
huh?
こんなものを
Where is
手
it?
に入れてきた
Mhm.
どこだ
He started patting down the pockets of his very old coat. This annoying old man was Gunson. He was the elder ruler of this park, the CEO of a company with 3 billion yen a year salary, and the best friend of my father, Jiro. At least according to him. My dad's name wasn't even Jiro. He was related to a clan of foreign nobles, so if he ever needed to, he could summon a foreign special forces team to do his bidding. Except last week. His bed had been taken over by a stray dog, so he had to come stay with me.
ね えぞ。
It's gone. What? My most important thing is gone. Crud. How am I supposed to piss?
証明できねえ。
What, you misplaced your dick?
ちょっとゲン
Hey, Gensan, to take off your pants? Oh, okay, he really did misplace his whole ass penis, got it. Gensan was always loud when he got drunk. And when he got really drunk, he was even louder. Today, he wasn't Today, he wasn't very drunk. I had no idea what he was like when he was sober. I'd never seen it happen, or heard of it ever happening. Sometimes, or often actually, at least once a week, he'd come by my room, drunk, talk for a while, and then leave to search the park for more alcohol. I found it! I found it, Missy! I found it! Look at it!
ほれ見ろ。
I'm not going to look. Absolutely not. You can't be showing your penis to anyone like that. Come on. He was obnoxious as hell, to put it mildly, but I couldn't chase him away. Actually, I couldn't complain about him much at all. When I left the dorm half a year ago, I ended up in the bottom half of Miyashita Park. Since the upper half kept the rain off, the bottom half was one of the most popular spots. A lot of the reason I was able to get this spot, and even get this RV, was because of Gensan. You're awful! That's disgusting! Back when I lived in the dorm, I'd done some cooking for the homeless in Miyashita Park, as part of our volunteer activities. Gensan had remembered that. A nobleman does not forget his debts, was all he said, and then somehow I had been given this place. He was also the one who taught me how to get by in this place. No, right, Chaku, look at this. Want to take it off my hands? Gensan took something out of his pocket. Beautiful noise. I ripped a copy of my favorite magazine out of his hands. I quickly glanced over to Serika. I hate you. I hate you, Gensan. Fair. She was mumbling that over and over to herself. I thought she'd liked him. Good, she didn't see it. I breathed a sigh of relief and hid it someplace nearby. How much? Gensan raised a single finger. This was one rule, for example. It was the first thing I'd learned in the park. The homeless would never, ever ask you for money. It was the one thing they could never say. Money was either found lying on the ground or earned by working or selling things. It wasn't something other people gave you. I took out a 100-yen coin from my wallet and gave it to him. Gensan grabbed it and put it in his pocket like he didn't really care. Hey, I've been seeing that a whole lot lately. He was looking at the PC monitor as he spoke. I think I just realized what it might be. For a moment, I didn't know what he meant. Huh? 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 My eyes met Serika's for just a moment. The monitor was still displaying that blurry, blown-up image. He saw it a lot. Hey, Gensan. You know what this is? I wanna play some baseball. He was in his own little world. What was this guy's problem? He's an alcoholic? I got closer to him. Gensan, have you seen this before? Nah, I mean, it's everywhere I go. Like in front of the station. Wait, what's the station again?
駅前って誰だ?
Huh? You mean the train station? You mean Shibuya Station? I mean, you know... wait, Taku. It was the last thing you showed me, right? Huh? You know, a few years ago. When you did a stakeout in a karaoke box and the first person got something or other... That was last weekend, actually. When I've been uploading the photos of the crime scene I'd taken from the karaoke box, Genson had come by and seen them. And this was it. Oh, Taku, look! It was an image of the karaoke box I'd hidden in to take pictures of the crime scene. It was on the 5th floor. I could see the same mark. I switched from the player software to the editor software just like before. It magnified that part of the image. And then I realized what it was. And that's right. I had seen this thing before. Just like Genson said, it was something you could find all over Shibuya. Something that had been there for a long time. This is a sumo wrestler sticker. Yep. When I saw the club room for the first time in 3 days, I was stunned.
Yeah.
Man, I did my best. I've been waiting all morning to tell Ito the biggest discovery I'd made yesterday. I stayed up almost all night, finding all the information I could on it. I then forced myself to wait until school ended to tell him. I figured that just sending pictures to his phone or trying to explain it in words would just confuse him. I wanted to stand in front of the board in the club room, with all the information we'd learned so far pinned up on it, and use the club time to really work through it. But there was nothing there at all. I could only think of one person who would do that. Kurisu. It was when we left yesterday. She said it was too dangerous, and she wasn't gonna let you do it. Was it because of what happened in the Love Hotel? And as an angry a voice I could muster, I said, "Why didn't you stop her?" I told you I tried. She told me to shut up though, so I did. You should have done something. Don't tell me to do the impossible. Could you have done something? Don't tell me to do the impossible. Ito shrugged as if to say, see? Just imagining it scared me a little. Doing something about Kurisu was absolutely impossible. No one in Hekiho was capable of such a thing. I pointed to the PC on the desk. What about the data? I'm just consider yourself lucky that she didn't physically destroy the whole hard drive. So the data was gone too. Ito was probably joking, but if Kurisu thought she needed to do it, she would have. Oh no, wait. What are you printing out? Here you go. Sarika dropped a stack of papers on the desk. I looked down and saw that it was images and articles about the case. It was the ones that were uploaded to the newspaper club server. Where did you get these? Marnie was telling me that a true right-sider needs to make sure his stuff is backed up. I mean, you've got backups too, right? Well, yes, but... Sarika flipped through the papers. For some reason, the image quality drops if I print it off my Pokecom. I'll re-upload it to the server. Wait a second. Sarika wanted to stretch a cable from her Pokecom to the PC, but I quickly stopped her. Is this image quality good enough? That's not it. I mean, the image quality is fine, but I prefer if you didn't upload it to the server for a while. I glanced at Ito as I spoke. The newspaper club server could be accessed from any PC in the school as long as you knew the password. Kurisu was spending her time at the student council getting ready for the culture festival, but there was a chance she might look at the servers for some reason. Ito nodded in agreement, the serious look on his face. You two are too afraid of
二人とも
Don-chan.
のんちゃんのこと
She's
怖が
nice,
り
right,
すぎだよ
Hana-chan?
のんちゃん優しいよねえ花ちゃん
Mm-hmm.
ほらね
See? See what? Was Kazuki agreeing? She was just pounding down on the keyboard and moused really hard.
そりゃ尾上
That's
や
because
和
she
樹は副
likes
部
you
長に
too.
可愛がられてるけどさ。
That's right.
渋谷のクレ
We
ープ
visited
屋
every
台
crepe
一
stall
緒
in
に
Shibuya
コンプリー
together.
トしたんだよ
Don-chan knows all
の
about
んちゃ
sweets.
ん甘いものに詳しいん
Cute.
だ
Sarika puffed out her chest, very proud of this information. I didn't care in the slightest.
それにどっち
In
み
either
ち
way,
の
I
んちゃ
think
んには
Don-chan's
バレ
going
る
to
と
find
思う
out.
よ
And that's probably true, yeah. If we kept pursuing the case as part of our work with the newspaper club, Kudesu was smart enough to catch on.
大丈夫
It's
だ
okay.
よ話せ
She'll
ば
understand
分か
once
って
you
く
talk
れ
to
るよ
her. I simulated a variety of situations in my mind. Oh boy. Time for our next illusion. Kudesu loved sweets. This is something that Sarika had said, and I'd known about too. So would buying her something she liked from a famous sweets shop be enough to win her over? Would bribery work on someone as prim and proper as the student council president? It was worth a try. Unless you could win her over, we weren't going to be able to continue with the case.
よし、これから
Okay,
賄賂を買い
let's
に
go
行こ
buy
う。
something to bribe her with.
伊藤、
Ito,
渋
find
谷
me
で
the
有名
top
な
three
スイー
most
ツ店の
famous
上位
sweet shops in
3つを調べて
Shibuya.
くれ。
任せろ。
Leave it to me.
これで
The
副部
vice
長も一
president's
強だぜ。
heart is yours. It was time for the mission to begin. Oh boy.
というわけで、
So here you go. This is a present for you,
プレゼント。
Kurisu. I knew that Kurisu was staying late after school to get ready for the festival. I handed her the present I'd just bought. Ito had found me a pancake place near Shibuya Station. It was a popular store that always had a line of girls outside. I heard it was one of the few places where you could get pancakes for takeout, so I quickly chose it. Standing in line with the girls for an hour was almost torture, but I somehow managed to do it.
これって
Are these pancakes from eggs and
エッグ
things?
サクスのパンケーキ
そうだけど、
Yeah. Why?
何を企
What
ん
are
で
you
るの
planning?
そ
You don't need to say that after I was nice enough to go buy you
買ってきたの
something.
に。
あなたが
You've
私に
never
プレ
bought
ゼ
me
ン
a
トを持
present
ってくる
before.
なんて
You're after
今
something,
までな
aren't
かっ
you?
たもの何か魂胆があるんでしょ伊藤君
Ito-kun.
どう
What's
いう
going
こ
on
と
here?
事件のことを
I
追いか
guess
け
we're
たいから
bribing you so you'll let us keep working on the
副部長に賄賂をみたいな。
case. Ito, please.
あ
You,
お前
you asshole! You could have put up more of a fight than that.
すまん
I'm sorry,
宮代
Nishiro. I just can't fight the power of her stare.
勝てなかった。
Fair. I'm glad you got me something.
せっ
But
か
I
く買
can't
ってきて
accept
くれたのは
this.
嬉しいけどこれ受け取れない
Kurisu handed the pancakes back to me. She was always so serious about this stuff.
二人で
You
仲
too
良
enjoy
く食べ
them.
なさい
They're very good.
とっても美味しいから
Her face was smiling, but her eyes weren't. Does this just make me want pancakes? Yeah, that's what would happen. Kurisu would see through any attempt at bribery I could make. It was a bad idea to try and buy her off. Why would I want to split a pancake dinner with Ito anyway? It would work better if Ito didn't go with me.
よし、
Okay,
わかった。
I've got it. Huh?
いいのか
You're sure? Ito must have been really surprised by my answer, because he badly overreacted.
お前はそん
I
なに
didn't
勇敢
think
な
you
や
were
つだっ
so
たか
brave.
やるときはやる
I'm
んだ
always
よ。
brave when it counts.
ただ
You、just don't put
サ
anything
ー
on
バー
the
に上げる
server
のは
yet.
待ってくれ。
I want to be
慎
cautious.
重を期したい。
Okay. Cute.
それから
For
とりあ
now,
えず今
we'll
は
put
ボ
the
ードに
information
情
on
報
the
を貼り
board.
付けるけれ
But
ど
when it's done, we'll
ま
take
と
it
め終わ
off.
ったら一旦
Things are
剥が
going
そ
to get tricky.
うことは簡単じゃないんだ。
オッケー。
それから
Now, for now,
事件のこ
let's
とに
not
関
tell
しては
Kurisu about the
とりあえ
case.
ず
We
ク
can
ルスに
keep an
秘
eye
密
on
にし
things
よ
until they calm down.
う。それでほ
And
と
then
ぼり
bring
が
it
冷
up
め
when
るま
she's
で
in
様
a
子
good
を見
mood
つつ
after eating something
クルス
sweet.
が甘いものでも食べて機嫌がいい時に切り出すんだ。
じゃね
Are
え
you
だ
just being
ろ
a pussy?
ただのヘタレじゃねえか
What?
ヘタレじゃ
I'm
な
not
い。
being a pussy. I'm choosing the method most likely to succeed. If you call that being a pussy, then the definition of pussy.
はい
Yeah,
はい
yeah,
わかった
I
わかった
get it.
ほらお
Oh
前
no, wait. I'm gonna put up the
地図貼るから
map.
そっち持て。
Hold that end.
オッケー。
Ito and Serika took out the big map we used for the board.
説得を
This is the
考えた
best way to persuade
これが
her.
一番確実なんだ。
He didn't get it at all. There's no way I could persuade Kurisu if I tried to go after her head on.
というか
Wait,
宮代
Miyashiro.
マ
Let
ジ
me
な
be
話
serious
だけ
for
ど
a
さ
second here. He had a very serious tone in his voice as he hung up as he hung up the top of the map. Huh? I've been serious the whole time.
その
Is it
大丈夫
okay
な
to
の
keep
か
pursuing the
事
case?
件を追って
I told you.
だから
I'll pursue her
いずれ説得
her
する。
eventually.
あ
I'm not being a pussy.
慎重なん
I'm
だ
just being cautious.
じゃなくて
That's not what I'm talking about.
お前
You
よ
saw something really
っ
bad,
ぽど
right?
のもん見たんだろ
In the love hotel.
ラブホテルで
Sarika froze midway through the process of taping down the bottom of the map. So that was it. I hadn't told Ito anything about the Love Hotel. I hadn't told him about what I'd seen or experienced there. I tried my best to give him a cheerful smile.
大丈夫だよ。
It's fine.
問
No
題ない。
problem.
こ
This
んな
is way
大き
too
なネ
big
タ
a
ほっ
scoop
と
not
け
to
ないだろ。
chase, right? Ito didn't answer. He stared at me as if trying to figuring me out. And then he relaxed and laughed a little.
まあ
Well,
電
I
話
figured
の
as
時点で
much
そうじゃ
when
な
we
いかと
talked
は
on
思
the
ってたけ
phone.
どな
He was probably talking about the call I'd made yesterday. After I made my discovery, I'd called Ito and asked him to find all the information he could about the Love Hotel case. It had already been 3 days since that had happened. I hadn't really been following it at all, so I'd asked Ito to put together what he could find.
はい。
Okay,
いいよ。
all set. Sarika finished pinning the map to the board. Okay, let's get started. It was a brand new map of Shibuya. We had to put it up from scratch again, but now that I looked at it, maybe it wasn't such a bad thing. I made a huge discovery which could impact the whole case. It was a good idea to start over from the beginning.
まず6年前の
First,
事件
we'll
と
assume that there's a
日付
connection
の
between
関
the
連性が
dates
ある
when
という
these
前提で
incidents are
進めよ
happening, and the incidents from 6 years ago.
う。つまり
In other
今ま
words,
で
we'll
起きた3
consider
つの
all
事件
three
を
cases so far
一
as
連の
part
こ
of
と
the
として
set.
考える。
This is regardless of
目
whether
的や
someone's
犯人がい
behind
る
all
とした
this,
ら
or what they
そ
might
の
be
正体は
after.
ともかくとしてな。
ああ
Yeah,
三つ続いた
and that makes
以上は
sense now
そう
that
だろ
there's been 3 incidents.
そうじゃなかった
We'll
ら
find out
ま
we're
たその
wrong.
時考
We
え
can
ればいい
reconsider things then.
よし。
Alright, let's start with the
場所から行くか。
locations. The
一
first
件目の事
case.
件。
Don't look.
通
It took
称
place in
こっちみんな
Jinan.
は人難で起こったから。で、そ
So,
の遺体の画像が
here's the picture of the body. Oh wow, I could actually pick things. That's crazy. Anyways, this one.
で、そ
And
の
then
概
here's the
要が
summary of the case. By the way, the incident that occurred 6 years ago on the same date was,
集団
the
ダイ
group
ブだから
dive. Group dive. No. Oh, this one. Duh.
で
And
そ
here's
の
the
概要
summary of
が
the case.
1件目はこん
And
な
that's it
も
for
んだ
the
な
first case. Let's move
じゃあ
on to
2
the
件目に
second.
行こ
Audio
う通
bleed
称
happened in
音漏れ弾は
Shinsen,
深センで起こ
so...
ったからで
Here's
そ
the
の遺
picture
体
of
の
the
画像
body.
が
Audio bleed.
でそ
And
の
here's the
概要
summary
が
of the case.
ちなみに
And by the way,
同じ
the
日付
incident
の
that
6
occurred
年
6
前の
years
事
ago on
件
the same
は
date was,
妊娠
man-child.
男だから
This one.
でその概要
And
が
here's the summary of the case. Hmm.
よし
Okay.
じゃあ最後にラブ
Finally,
ホの事件
the
だ
one that took place in the
場所は
Love
道玄
Hotel.
坂のラブホ
That
街だ
happened
か
in
ら
the Love Hotel area in Dogenzaka, so...
で
So,
概要だけど
about the summary. I looked at Ito, and I could see he was nervous. He was worried, but at the same time a little excited. Mhm.
どうした
And what's wrong?
大丈夫か
You okay?
いや
Mhm.
そ
Yeah,
うだな
first.
まずは
Can you show me
伊
what
藤
you
が
put
まとめてきた
together?
のを見
I
せてく
want
れ
to
る
know what the
か
public knows about
世間
it.
ではどういう
I saw
認
the
識に
name
なっ
they
ているの
gave
かを
it.
知りたい発表されて
No, yeah,
わかった
just give me a
ちょっ
second.
と待ってな
Ina got out his Pokecom and started to fiddle with it. He linked to the printer over the network and printed out his files. Wait,
やっぱサーバー
you're
に
not
は上
upping
げ
them
ない
to
ん
the
じゃん
server
か
after all, are you?
当たり
Of
前だ
course not. I don't
殴ら
want
れ
to
る
get
のは嫌だ
punched.
だから
I told you,
怖が
you're
りすぎ
too
だって
scared of
ば
her. Let's give him the printout that Ito made for me. After all the cases we researched together, he knew how to summarize information to a single page like a pro. Ito read from his own printout.
名前が発表
The
され
name
た
was
のは
announced
昨日の
last
夜だ
night. The victim was
死んだのは
Kakita Hironori,
柿田博
a
則
22
歳
a 22-year-old
渋谷在住で
resident of
更
Shibuya.
新でアルバイ
He
トし
had
て
a
いたらしい
part-time job at SafeWorks.
更新
SafeWorks?
なんで知らないん
And
だ
can you not know about them?
景気の
They're
い
a
いベン
huge
チャー企
successful
業だよ
venture capital firm. And they've been making a lot of money lately off the Shibuya reconstruction.
渋谷ニューズの
Just
情
like
報通
Shibuya
り
News said,
20代
he
の
was a
男
male in
性
his 20s.
さすが
Nice. So
そ
you
こは
checked
チェッ
there.
クしてるか
And that's probably the only thing I could do, Ito said as he nodded. About the only thing I can read.
つうか
Oh, wait.
20代って言及したのは事件のあった日のネトラジ放送だ
Wait,
ぞ
she said he was
ま
in
だ
his
その段
20s
階で
the
は
night it
どの
happened.
媒体
At
も
that
男性
point,
の
the only
変死体
official
が発
announcement
見
was
され
that
た
a
としか
man's
発
body
表して
had
な
been
かったのに
found.
ったく
Jeez,
どうやって調
where
べ
did
て
she
るんだ
find
か
this stuff? I couldn't agree more. How did Keisan do her research?
死因は首
The
吊りに
cause
よ
of
る
death
窒
was
息死
strangulation due to
地上の
hanging.
もつれからの
They
自殺
decided
と
it
断
was
定
a
された
suicide after a romantic quarrel.
え
Huh? Suicide? Over a fight with a lover?
自殺
It
と
was
断
ruled to
定
be
されたの
suicide?
ああ
Yeah, that was
警
what the
察はそう
cop
発
said.
表した
The only other
あと出
information
て
they
いる
came
情
out
報
with
といえ
was that
ば
he was
ま
pretty
あ
good
死
at
んだ
his
柿田
job.
が優秀だったって
He
こ
made a
とくらい
surprising
か
amount off of a commission
出来
sales
高のアルバイ
job.
トで驚くほど稼いでいたらしい
地上のも
So who
つ
did
れ
he
って
get in a fight with?
その相手は
Huh?
あいや
I mean,
地上
if
っ
he
てい
had
う
a
の
fight
は
with his
交際
girlfriend,
していた相手が
that
いた
means
は
he
ず
had
だ
a girlfriend, right?
あ
Oh,
な
I
るほどな
see. Ito looked through a bunch of files on his Pokecom.
いや
No,
それに
I don't
関
have
しては
anything
何
on
もない
that.
な
目撃者は
What about witnesses?
発見した
The
のは
hotel
ホテル
staff
の
were the
従業員
ones
だ
that
けど
found him,
それ
but
以外
nothing
には
else
何
was
も
said. Of
もちろん
course,
お
there
前
was
らの
nothing
こと
about
も
you
出て
two
ない
either. What was going on? So they hadn't said anything about the other girl at the scene.
タク
Sarika was staring at me, confused. She was probably thinking the same thing. I couldn't understand why there wasn't any information about us. The police had said there wouldn't be, and to be honest, we were just gawkers. There's no real point in telling anyone we were there. But that girl clearly seemed to be involved in the case. If they said he got into a fight with his girlfriend, then it didn't make sense not to report the girl who was there.
未成年による
Was it
配慮
because she was a minor? I wasn't sure, but she had looked young. She definitely wasn't older than 19. No, even then, they'd say something. Whenever there was a problem with someone dating underage girls, they never reported the girl's name, but they always reported her existence.
どうした
What's wrong?
説明する
I'll explain. I pinned up the information that Ito had given me.
ラブホの事件の
The
遺体
picture
の
of
画
the
像
body from the Love Hotel is this one.
これは
And what's this?
ラブホの現
The
場で撮
picture I
った
took
画
at the
像だ
Love Hotel. Huh? You took pictures? Ito almost jumped on me in shock. I nodded.
正確には
More
録画した
specifically,
映
I
像を
took a
切り
film
取
from
っ
the
て
video I
プリント
recorded
アウ
and
トしたやつ
printed
だ
it out.
警
Although
察
I
に起訴され
uploaded
る
it
前
to
に
your private
小野
storage
江が
before
個
the
人の
police
ストレー
could
ジに上げ
delete
ておい
it.
てくれた
マジかよ
Seriously? Oh
や
wow.
ばいだろ
That
これ
means that nobody
どこにも
but
出てねえ
has
ぞ
this but us. Ito put his face up to the picture in excitement.
なんだ
What?
座
He
っ
hung
たまま
himself
首
sitting
を
down.
ワイ
Is
ヤー
this a
が
wire? He mumbled to himself as he stared at it, trying to memorize every last detail.
なんだよこれ
What is this?
おい
What the hell
一体
happened
何があった
here?
んだ
As I listened to Ito speak excitedly, I looked towards Sarika. I wasn't sure why I was looking at her. But she nodded as if she understood. I nodded back. The police had told us not to tell anyone, but I didn't care. And slowly started to explain what had happened to Ito. How we made it into that hotel undetected. How the room we'd seen from the outside was where we'd found the body. How we'd gone inside and found the police officer lying on the floor. How the body in the photo was sitting on a spinning bed and slowly rotating. How there'd been another girl there, and how someone had tried to enter the room. But I didn't tell him how the door had unlocked itself. The police had told me that I'd imagined it. They'd made me realize I had no proof. Between my curiosity and my fear, I'd been a mess at the time anyway. More than anything, without any kind of proof, I wasn't sure it had happened at all. When I finished, Ito's first questions were the same as mine had been.
現場にいた女
So there
に
was a girl at the
部屋に
scene,
入ろう
and
としてい
someone
た
tried to
誰か
come into the room.
でも
The
そ
girl
の
was
女
real,
はとも
but
か
they
く
couldn't find any
誰かが部
evidence
屋
of
に
someone
入ろう
trying
とし
to
てい
come
た
into
形
the
跡は
room,
なかった
could
んだ
they? And that was right. That was what the police had told me. But
ノックの音が
I
聞
heard
こ
the
えたんだ
knocking, and I have
そ
the
れは
sound on
映
my
像にも
video.
音声として残ってる
音だろ
Just the sound, right?
誰かがド
That
アの
doesn't
向
prove
こう
that
にいて
someone
ドア
was
を
on the
叩
other
いた
side
と
of
いう
the
証
door
明じゃない
knocking.
いや
No, I mean, logically you're right,
それに
but I'm sure someone was on the
誰か
other
がドアを
side. Ito cut me off, clearly irritated.
理屈で考えれば
Logically,
って
I'm right.
一番
You're
ら
the
し
one
く
who's
ない
always
ことだ
telling me
ぞ
that logic is the only thing
理
that
屈のみで考
matters.
えなければ
Idiot.
いけないってのが理屈バカのお前だろ
Don't call me an idiot. I just prefer to cover all my bases.
はっきりしてる
Let's
とこ
start
ろ
with
から
what we
行こ
know
うぜ
for sure, right?
だろ
Damn it. He could only say that because he hadn't heard it in person. That strange, eerie sound, which hung in the depths of your ears and wouldn't let go. That was true.
その通りとい
I
えば
guess
そ
he's
うなん
right.
だよな
Yeah. I hadn't seen someone trying to enter the room for myself. Maybe he took my silence as agreement.
で現場にいた
So
女
about this woman who was there.
あ
Oh,
だから
that's what you were
交際相手
asking
を
about
気に
his
してたの
girlfriend?
か
Hmm.
女っていうより
She was more a
女の
girl
子
than
か
a
な
woman. Huh?
女の子
I'm a girl?
あの子きっと
I think she was probably
そんな
around
に
my
私と
age.
年変わ
And I
ら
don't
ないよ
think she was older.
それに
She was the
上
same
ってことも
age,
ないと
or
思う
you're too younger,
同じ
maybe?
か12個下くらいじゃない？
そうか
Maybe.
な
I wasn't sure, but if Serika said so, she was probably right. Serika never had any evidence or proof for her statements, but she was often correct.
でもその
There's
女
nothing
の子の
about
こと
her
に
in
触
the
れている
news,
情報は
was
なかっ
there?
たんだろ
I looked back at Ita to check.
ああ
Yeah.
ゴシップ
I
誌から
checked
新
everything
聞社
from
の正
gossip
式な発
magazines to
表
official
まとめウィ
newspaper
キまで全部
announcements.
覗いたけど
I even took a look at the
そんな情報はなかった
aggregator wiki, but there's nothing like that. I see.
だとすれば
Which means
やっ
we'll
ぱ
have
り
to
こっ
look
ち
for
から
her
追うしかない
ourselves, I
か
guess. I flipped through the remaining papers.
別の手がかりがあるの
Any
か
other clues?
映像を見返して気
There
づ
was
いたこと
something
があ
I
るんだ
noticed when I was going
ちゃんと
back
した
through the
理屈だ
footage.
なん
This
せ
one's
ちゃん
nice
と
and
した証拠
logical.
があるから
I've
だ
got real proof after all. Hehe.
小さい
You're a
男だ
petty
な
little man, aren't you? Heh, say what you like. It was finally time to tell Ita what I'd found.
と
Um,
昨日作っ
where's
た
that image I made
綺
yesterday
麗
that
に
had
写って
a
る
nice
例の
picture
シ
of the
ールの画像
sticker?
は
Do you know
これ
what this is?
なんだかわかるか
Ida looked at the picture for a moment, uncertain.
見覚えあるな
I've seen that
なんだ
before.
っけな
Where was it? Use this Pokecom to run a search.
そう
Yeah,
力士
that's a
シールだろ
sumo wrestler sticker, right? Yep,
そう呼ばれてる
that's what they call it. Or sumo
何
sticker
の
for
目的で
short.
貼られてるかわからない
No one
謎の
knows
シ
who's
ール
putting them up or why.
期限は諸説あるけど
There are a lot of
ネッ
theories
トで
about
騒が
where
れ
they
出した
came
のは
from.
2007
But
年
the
頃
first time they really showed up was on the... But the first time they really showed up on the net was in 2007. At one point. They were famous enough that the TV stations were reporting on them. But after the 2009 Shibuya earthquake, everyone stopped talking about them. The city where the stickers were going up had been destroyed. People had bigger things to talk about. But starting sometime last year, they started to appear in Shibuya again.
目的はいろいろ噂
And
さ
there
れ
are a
て
lot
る
of different rumors about
単な
what
るい
they
たずら
are.
説はもちろん
Of
だけど
course, some people say
ハッ
they're
キング
just a
説とか
prank.
宗教に
Others say
よる
there's some
結界
kind of
説とか
tagging or a spiritual barrier of some sort. Tagging, street art terminology, the act of painting the symbol of an individual or group on public property. These symbols are referred to as tags. While tags are effectively signatures, they are sometimes considered to be street art in and of itself. Since the vast majority of taggers don't get permission for their work, tagging is often considered to be a form of vandalism.
変わったとこだと
One of the stranger
本当に
ones
力
is
士
the
の
theory
人が
that
自
it's
分の
actually
顔
a
を貼
sumo
ってる
wrestler
説って
putting
の
up
もある
stickers of his own face.
でもこれは違
But
う
I
と
don't think
僕は思ってい
that's
て
right.
そもそも
And they
力
call
士
these
シール
things
なんて
sumo
呼ばれては
wrestler
いるけれど
stickers.
そ
Well, that's
れ
just
は単
because
に
the
太っ
man
てい
in
る
them
顔だ
has
か
a
らって
fat
いうだけの理
face.
由で誰かが
There's
そ
no
う言い
actual
出した
proof
こと
that they're
で
bottled after a
力士を
sumo
モデルにしたなん
wrestler.
てことは確たる証拠として
ちょっとストップ
Hold it for a second. Shut the stop. Ida cut me off just as I was getting started. Come on, man. It was just about to get good.
いやそれが
Who
何だっつ
cares?
んだ
Do these
その
stickers
シ
have
ール
anything to
と
do with the
事件と
case?
何か関係あんのか
わからない
I don't know.
は
Huh?
まだわか
I
ら
still
ない
don't know, but
でもな こっちみんなの
The
現場
sticker
付近
placed
にあ
near
った
the
力士
scene
シー
of
ルは
Don't Look was this one.
これ
This is a blown-up
この
version
前
of the
お前に
picture
見
I
せた
showed
画
you
像を
from the
拡大
Don't
したや
Look
つ
case. It's the wall
こっち
outside
み
the
んなの現場
karaoke
を撮り
place I
に
went to.
僕がいたカラオケボックスの外壁部分
力士シ
Was
ー
that a
ル
sumo sticker? Yeah, it's a
多
little
少ぼや
blurry,
けてる
but
けど
I'm sure of it.
間違いない
Wait,
おい
you're not telling
まさか
me.
ああ
Yep. There was one near the
ラ
left
ブホの現場にもあ
hotel
ったんだ
too.
よ
Placed at a spot
Yeah,
where I
like
could see the
Gemba ga
crime
mieru
scene.
ichi ni.
Where I could see the crime scene, rather.
じゃあ
Then
あ
what?
れが
What about
元
Audio
々のか
いや
Blade? No,
So they
I don't
might
know
not
about
have
that yet. I looked
昨日調べ
yesterday
たん
and
だけ
couldn't
ど
find anything at the
少
scene
な
of
く
the
とも
incident.
今まで撮った現場周りの画像には映ってなかったでも2つ続
We
いた
just
偶
learned
然
that
に
if
かけ
something
てみる
happens
のはあり
twice,
だっ
it's
て
worth betting on,
今回
right?
証明されただろ
Nito fell silent, as if he was thinking about something. Aw. I was hoping he'd be a little more surprised. But I guess that was the best I could expect. Or maybe there was just too much new information coming in at once for him to keep up.
ちなみに
By the way,
ラブホテル
the
の事
incident
件
that
と同
occurred
じ日
6
付の
years
6
ago
年
on the
前の
same
事
day
件は
was,
貼り付けだから
crucifixion, so... The one that started Chaos Head.
で
Here's the
その
summary
概要
of the
が
case.
今のところ日付
And
は
for
とも
now,
かく
the dates
事
match,
件の内容
but
に
the
関
actual
しては
cases don't seem to
6
have
年前
much
と
in
そこ
common
ま
with
で
the
リン
other
クし
ones
てな
from
いよう
6
に
years
思える
ago.
集団ダイブと同じ日
Don't look
付のこ
happened
っ
on
ち
the
みんな
same
は
day as the group
被害
died.
者は一
There
人
was
だ
only
し
one victim.
それにま
We
だ
don't
自
know
殺
for
と決
sure
まっ
it
ている
was
わ
a
けではないし
suicide. I mean, group dive was also not actually a suicide, so they have that in common.
妊娠男
Man
と
child
同じ
happened on
日
the
付の
same
お
day
友
as
達は
Audio Bleed.
腹部に
While
異
both
物
of
を埋
them
め込
involved
んだっ
something
ていう
stuffed
点
into
は
the
一緒だけ
stomach.
ど
The victim in
そ
the
もそ
latter
も
was
被
a
害者は
girl.
女性だ
It still involved, like, stuffed stomachs, though, so... Like, the thing that was stuffed in the victim's stomach for Audio Bleed wasn't an actual fucking baby either, so, you know... Oh no, I'm pretty sure they don't know it wasn't suicide. For group dive.
貼り付けとラブホの
I
事
don't see
件は
anything in
目
common
立った
between
共通点は
crucifixion
見
and
つ
the
から
Love
ない
Hotel incident. Well, I know something that's in common, but that's more of plot device things rather than actual stuff happening here.
だから他
And
に
so,
事件を追
since
う
we
線
can't
がない
find
以
any
上
other way to proceed with
歴
the
史シール
case,
からもう
I
一
think
度
we
事
should
件を
try
探っ
seeing
てみ
where
るの
the
もあ
sumo
りだと思う
stickers take us. But... maybe I was overthinking this, but there was no telling what else could be related to the case. And just in case I decided to put up the data from the other new gen incidents from 6 years ago. October 10th, Vampire. October 23rd, Numbskull. October 28th, Finger Food. The 28th is 2 days from now, yippee! You love that Takeru just is the meme guy of the... with all the red strings on his board, yeah. Knowing this franchise, though, the plot reason might be how they connect in either verse. I'm not sure the fact that crucifixion being what Takumi and Rimi were around necessarily is going to be the same connection as to Serika and Takeru coming across the scene, you know? Like, it might have small significance, like how the whole, like, lots of delusions were present during crucifixion type thing, but not the actual plot reason, with it just happening to be the first thing that our characters are actually physically involved with. Yeah, October 28th, Finger Food. November 4th, Dokyun Puzzle. Yeah, that should do it. looked at the board and nodded in satisfaction. Is the 4th on Saturday? Now that I think about it. Does anyone have a calendar handy? Because it would be funny. I don't think the 4th is a Saturday. No. Yeah, because the 1st is Friday. Yeah, no. Damn. It would have been funny if he had one of these streams line up with one of his days, but nope. That's about all we know for now. He wants coffee. I want coffee. I'm gonna drink my Red Bull though. As I finished going over the information, Sarika got some cups ready. Oh no. Kazuki, who had been ignoring the conversation until now, suddenly stood up. She grabbed the cups from Sarika with a speed you never believed she possessed. Aw, it's fine, Hana-chan. You always make us stuff to drink, right? Kazuki shook her head rapidly from left to right, and then motioned for Sarika to sit down. Good work. Kazuki's like, no, this is my job. Stay in your place. Oh no, wait. It's fine. She's being nice enough to make it for us. I practically forced Sarika to sit down in her chair. Huh? But... No. There was no way I was letting Sarika do any kind of cooking. Oh dear. How bad was she? She was so bad that I couldn't even let her make coffee. She was so bad that she once asked me what kind of dish soap I used to wash the vegetables. No! Sarika, please do not put dish soap on veggies. I breathed a sigh of relief as she reluctantly sat down. Thank you for saving them, Hana. Even Kazuki was relieved enough that you could actually tell what she was feeling for once. She started to make the coffee. I turned around to see if Ito needed any. He was still thinking. He must have been thinking hard. He didn't even seem to notice that Sarika was making coffee, which normally would have been cause for panic. I decided for now to put the coffee that Kazuki had made in front of him. He seemed to understand the situation and stretched out his hand. Hey, you still got the footage of the hotel room, right? Yeah, it's on my Pokécom and smartphone. I deleted all the other copies for safety reasons. Ito glared at my Pokécom for a moment, and then turned toward me. Let me see it. I wasn't sure what to do. He must have been able to sense my uncertainty. Did the cops tell you not to tell anyone what happened? Yeah, but no, that's not the issue. I already told you what happened, for one thing. It's more like... I don't know if you see this. In a TV show or movie, this is where the hero would say, "There's no going back." Undergoing a shocking event changes the way you feel about the rest of your life. When you learn a hidden secret, it changes you. Just like when I learned about my parents. It's a go! Let me see it. You just saw that I was hetating and cut me off. You saw it in person, right? I want to see it too. Ito, bestie, unironically, you cannot unsee this. Yeah, quite actually. Buddy, it contains graphic imagery. I'm not sure you necessarily want to see a guy lose his head. Like... It doesn't seem like he is going to change his mind. Okay. Alright, let's look at it on the computer monitor. It'll be easier to see on a bigger screen, right? Sarika, the only person who didn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation, spoke up. Or maybe she just didn't think it was important.
しんちゃんは
Shin-chan's a club member, right?
見ないと
He has to see it.
だな。
Yeah. Ito smiled, as if he'd relaxed a little. He brought up his hands to his cheeks and gave them a slap to psych himself up.
よし。
Okay.
じゃあ
We can copy it to the desktop for now. I'll shut down this
今ブラウザ
browser.
閉じて。
And then he froze.
あ、
Huh?
おい、
Huh?
やばい。
Shit.
おい、
Look at this.
見ろ、これ。
Ito pointed up to the monitor, his voice shaking. Sarika and I hurried behind him to see what he was looking at. And gulped.
何この動画
What is this video?
わかんね
I don't know.
Ikina
It just showed up on the
Matomeki
aggregator wiki. The curtains opened, the man appeared. There was no mistaking it. Oh, that's from outside the window. Interesting. It was the room in the Love Hotel. The man must have been Kakita. I couldn't see her face, but was that the girl? It had to be. Her clothes matched what I remembered.
え。おい。
Hey,
おい。
what the hell? The bed spun around and the wire dug into Kakita's neck. There was no sound of the video, but I could hear the sound of the wire in the music box in my mind. Kakita's face took on a color very similar to what I'd seen in person, and the footage ended.
おい。
Hey,
なんだよこれ。
what the hell is this?
マジかよ。
Are you kidding me?
Hey, Miyashiro!
Hey, Miyashiro! I almost jumped off the ground.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
ごめん。なんだこれ
What the hell is this?
お前が
Did
撮
you
ったの
make
か
this video? Ito yelled at me hysterically. And quickly shook my head. Of course not. I was inside the room.
僕は部屋の中にいたんだ。じゃあ、なんで
What the hell is it?
知らない
I
って
don't know.
僕に
How would I...
あ
Sarika's hand suddenly reached out for us.
ちょろ
Hey, what are you doing? Stop. Calm down. Taku, Shin-chan, no fighting.
喧嘩はダメだよ
She grabbed us both by the cheek and pinched. Hard. Ow, ow.
痛い
That really hurts.
落ち着いた
Did he calm down?
もう怒鳴ら
No
ない
more yelling?
喧嘩し
No
な
more
い
fighting? This really hurts. Please stop. Ito and I nodded, and Sarika let go. Ew. What was that for?
何すんだ
だって
Because you
二
two
人とも
were
怒鳴るんだもん
yelling.
だから
But you can't just... Ito rubbed his cheek and gave Sarika an angry glare. And she must have grabbed him really hard, because I could see a red mark forming on his face in the shape of her hand. Do I have one of those too?
喧嘩はダメ
No fighting.
今にも
Ito,
殴り
you're
か
about
か
to
りそうだ
start hitting
ぞ
each other, you know? And Sarika repeated. She didn't seem to think she'd done anything wrong at all. Maybe she... No, maybe she hadn't. Kazuki gave Sarika a thumbs up. Yep. And Sarika gave her a satisfied thumbs up in return. I don't get it.
あれだな
You know, you're gonna be the kind of
友
mom
達を
who
叩い
says
ちゃいけ
hitting
ません
is wrong
って
as
言い
she
ながら
beats
自
up her
分の子
kid.
供を叩くタイプだな
I mean, Ada's words impressed me. It was one of the most accurate predictions I'd heard in years. Sarika frowned and said that she'd never do that.
ね
So,
なんだろうね
anyway, what
これ
is this? She pointed to the monitor. She didn't seem too bothered by it. She must have been used to seeing gory videos, because she looked pretty calm. I wrote to my cheek as I looked at it again. This is being filmed from the outside, right? Are you sure it's the same room you were in? I nodded, a little uncertain. I think I'm pretty sure that the body was like that too. Damn. What is this?
ねえ、保存しておいた
Hey,
方がよくない？
shouldn't we save that file? Yeah, Angly, I almost said that. Brain worked good. Yeah, you're right. Well, there's no telling when it will be deleted. And that was enough to bring Ito back to his senses. He saved the file to the PC with a slightly more unsteady hand than usual. Kozuki was still playing her game, but the rest of us stared at the download bar as it filled up little by little. And when it finished and the file was saved,
単にいた
and
ずら
this
と
wasn't
かじゃ
just somebody playing
ない
a
よね。
prank, right? Sarika knew better than anyone else that there was no such thing, but she asked anyway. I nodded firmly. Hey, who took this? Wait, who posted it? Ito frowned. I'm no hacker. Only amateurs could figure it out is, at best, the IP address, right? There's no way we could use that to track them down. You're right. Girl, his entire head came off. I don't think it's a prank. You're right, you're right. Also, hi Relix. Welcome to the Twitch side of things. Sometimes the media would say that the police used an IP address to track down a criminal's address, but strictly speaking, that wasn't quite right. Under some special circumstances, like a customer paying for a static address, it was possible, but most of the time you couldn't track down an individual PC from an IP address. And even if you could, the most you could track down was a PC, not a person. Several years ago, this had led to a very famous false arrest case. What the hell were we supposed to do now? I scratched my head, confused. Hey, well, while we're at it, let's look at another one. Huh? In the video you took at the Love Hotel. I already saw the last one. I don't think anything could bother me now. You're in both. Yeah, I figured you were. Thank you for being on both stream sides, Relix. Nita sounded like he was having a hard time believing that what he'd seen was real. He'd already copied the file off the Pokecom and gone to open it. He probably was just overwhelmed. I knew... I know that was how I'd been. I took it up close, so it's pretty brutal. I gave him a warning, and he responded with a firm nod, and clicked on the file. Shin-chan, are you sure? Yeah, probably. I think she was a humanities student. Ito was moving at a quick pace. His expression was serious, but he was having trouble hiding his excitement. Is that really possible? You don't use anything else but YouTube, so you're just here. That's fair, room guy. I'm glad you're able to be here. Come on, that's true, man. We were following Ito down the hallway quickly. After seeing the video of the room at the Love Hotel, he'd said, I know this girl. He said that he knew the girl who'd been in the room with us. And that couldn't be true. Sarika and I had insisted that he was mistaken, but Ito wouldn't listen. I saw her at a club leaders meeting, I think. Even if he was right, the club leaders meeting was where all the leaders of the school clubs and teams got together. If she was there, did that mean she was the leader in some club? I asked Ito, but he just smirked a little. We don't know that. Our president of the newspaper club is terrible at talking to groups of people, and our vice president was in charge of the meeting itself. So I had to go even though I'm just an ordinary member. Maybe there's someplace else like that. I'm not terrible at it, I just... Whoa. I didn't like it. It made me nervous. Being in front of all those people, I mean. And everybody knows those meetings never actually lead to anything productive. If you made a movie out of one of them, no one would go see it. You just what? Forget it. And anyway, where are you going? Here. Ito suddenly stopped. It was the student council room, on the 6th floor of the annex building. Why? And they got pictures of all the club members here. It'll be faster than searching the whole school, don't you think? Yeah, that's fair. Wait a second. I pulled Ito away from the door. You idiot. What if Kurisu's in there? Ito gave a little moan. If that happens, you just try and fool her somehow. If I was even remotely capable of that, we wouldn't need... Excuse me. Anyway, I ignored us completely and walked right into the room. Damn, now what? We just have to pray that she's not here. Got some other blonde. Huh? Our eyes met, and I suddenly forgot how to breathe. Why? Was that girl? Oh boy, delusion time. What was she doing here? I mean, trying to find her just became a lot easier. It's Takeru? What brings you through here? Well, wouldn't you believe you happen to be looking for the girl right next to you?
Yeah.
No. The girl stared at us suspiciously. And then, for the first time, I realized that I couldn't take my eyes off her. What's wrong with you three?
Huh?
You're right, she is very scrunkly. The words wouldn't come out. What do I say? Why is she here? Why is she acting so normal? Without warning, the girl started to laugh. I finally found you. I found you. Everyone froze. Even Kurisu seemed uncertain of what to do as she stared at the girl. The girl jammed her hand inside her pocket. And she took out a butterfly knife. She pointed at the blade right at me. It's time for you to die. She Is she really a murderer then? I tried to run. I tried to turn around and run right out of the room. But unfortunately, Yuto was in my way. I ran straight into him, fell backward onto the ground. Shit. Alarm bells were going off inside my head. Run, 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 run. Get off the ground and run. Oh my.
捕まえた。
Gotcha. I felt something cold press up against my neck.
バイバイ。
And then came the pain. You don't need to be doing all that, you're right. I felt strangely detached and indifferent as I watched the blood spurt out of my own neck. Even though I knew it was just something I had imagined, it still gave me goosebumps. Yeah, that's how delusions work. Something like that could really happen right now. I just wanted somebody, anybody, to give me an explanation.
のんちゃん、
Non-chan,
知り
do
合
you
いな
know
の？
her? Sarika motioned toward the girl. Huh?
ええ、
Yeah.
後輩。
This is Arimura
二年生で
Hinae-san.
文芸部部長の
She's the
有村
second
ひ
year
なえさ
who
ん。
leads the literature club.
どう
Oh,
もです。
hello. She has fingies. And the girl bowed to us.
クルス先輩のお友
Are
達
they
ですか？
friends of yours, Kirisupa-senpai?
ええ、
Yes.
そっちが
That's Ito
新聞部部員で
Shinji-kun and Onoe
3年の伊
Sarika.
藤真二君。
She's the third year,
同
and
じ
she's
く
the
部員
second
で
year.
2年の
Oh, he's the
尾上
third year
セ
and
リカ。
she's the second year. They're both in the newspaper club.
で、それが部
And
長で
that's
3
Miyashiro
年の宮
Takeru,
城
the
拓。
club president.
身
He's
の
also
程
my
を
little
知らない
brother,
私
and a
の
boy who
偶
doesn't know
定。
his place. Kirisu's eyes narrowed as she glared at me.
弟さん
He's your brother?
ですか？
But your last
でも名
names.
字が。養護施設
We're
の
from an
ね。
orphanage, you see.
へえ。
Huh?
血が
So your
繋がってない
siblings but not
兄
actually
弟。
related, huh?
なん
It
か
sounds
いや
kind
ら
of
しい
naughty,
です
doesn't
ね。
it? Please.
小説とかと
Please
一緒
don't
に
act like
しない
this
で
is some
ちょう
kind
だ
of
い。
novel. But still, doesn't it seem kind of naughty? She asked with a wink. What? Why? What are you doing here? I worked my sweaty hands on my pants and tried to ignore my pounding heart.
あ、
Um, what are
何し
you
てるん
doing?
ですか？あ、いや、
Damn it. Get the words out.
タクル？
Sarika seemed to understand what I was trying to say and finished my sentence for me.
有村さん
What are
は
you doing here,
何しにここに来た
Arimura-san?
んですか？
Huh?
クルス先
I
輩に
was
文
talking
化
to
祭のこと
Kurisu
で
senpai
話があ
about
っ
the
たんだ
culture
よ。
festival.
てか同学年なんだから敬語いらないよ。
Oh,
うん。
okay.
まあいっか。
Well, whatever.
じゃあ
I'll be
私は
going,
こ
I
れで。
guess. Sorry, Kurisu
すい
senpai.
ませんでした。
Kurisu waved a hand and told her not to worry.
事情があるな
If
ら
you
仕
can't
方
do
ない
it,
で
you
しょう。
can't. I'll tell the
文芸部
teachers
は
of the
文化祭に
literature
参加
club
できな
won't be
いと
participating
話
in
は
the
通して
culture
おくから。
festival. But
でも
yes,
どうしても
are you absolutely sure you
事情は言
can't
えな
tell
い
me
のね。
what's going on?
痛いけな
We
乙女
girls
の
have
秘
our
密という
secrets, you
こ
know?
とで何卒。了
All
解。
right,
で
but I
も
won't be able to
来
help
年は
you
フォロー
next
でき
year,
ないからね。
okay? Right.
ありがとうござい
Bye-bye.
ました。
The girl put her bag on her shoulder and bowed to us, and then went to leave. I don't know, she seems innocent. She probably didn't kill anyone. I don't know what's going on with her, but, Inae is a critter, so true.
あ、
Close enough, welcome back, Kozupi. You're right, you're right. Wait. I still haven't asked you about the things I need to. Her name, it was...
あ、
Arimura-san. My voice was loud enough that I made her jump a little.
クリスタ
That scared me. You got a lot of energy.
あ
Oh,
ごめんなさい
sorry.
いえ、
No,
別
it's
にい
fine.
いんですけど。
What is it?
何です？
I'm sorry it was
すい
so
ません
loud.
でした
I mean,
い
no,
やじゃなくて
listen.
ですねその
My face was turning red from nervousness. Damn it. This is always what happens when I talk to someone for the first time. What should I ask? Ah. Time for another delusion.
その
The
ホテ
hotel.
ルで
ホテル？
In the hotel.
何
What were you
して
doing
たんですか
in that hotel?
あのホテルで
A moment. I felt like her body moved for just a moment.
有村さん？
I could see Kurisu frown in the corner of my eye. Adibide was still looking at me. Her expression hadn't changed. For some reason, I felt like she was looking me over. Adibide saw inside, annoyed. She was living in that hotel. I'm not sure about that, but maybe.
はいはい。
Right. I'll
白状しますよ。
confess? No, wait, to murder?
親父狩り
I was hunting old
してまし
men.
た。
Buddy.
わかります
Do you know what I mean by
親父狩り。
hunting?
私が街を
I'll go
歩
find
い
a
てる
guy
お
on
っ
the
さん
street
に
and tell him he
一
gets
回
to
1万
go
円って言って
with
声
me
かけ
for
るんです。
10,000 yen.
で、
And then,
ホテ
when
ル
we
行っ
get
た
to the
ら
hotel,
先にシャ
I
ワー
tell
浴
him
び
to
て
take
よ
a
って
shower
頼むわけっ
first.
すよ。
And while he's in the shower,
そしたら
invite
そ
all
の
my
間に
friends
仲間を
in.
部屋に誘導する。
Her friends.
あとはすっぱだか
And
の
then
おっ
we
さんを
tie up the
縛って
naked
写
old
メで
man
撮ってか
and
ら
take a bunch
財
of
布に入ってる
pictures
お金を
and
全
steal all
部
the
抜き取
cash
っ
in
て
his wallet.
終了。向こうは
He's
後ろ
doing
めた
something
いことしてる
illegal,
わけ
so
だ
he
から
can't go to the
警
police.
察にも言え
It's
ず
the
に泣
perfect
き寝入り
crime.
完全犯罪の成立です。
In other words, she had very scary friends.
でも
But
よりによっ
last
てこ
time,
の間
the
のおっ
guy
さんは
decided to
抵
fight
抗してき
back.
たんです
We
よ。
got pissed off.
ムカついたんで全員でリンチしてぶっ殺し
And
ちゃ
we
いまし
killed
た。
him. No one said a word.
ちなみに
By the way,
皆
I
さん
know
の
all
顔
your
と名
names and
前
faces
全部
now.
覚えちゃい
So
ま
when
し
you're
た
out
んで
late at night,
夜
be
道を歩く
careful.
ときは気をつ
My
けて
friends
くだ
might
さ
come
い
pay
ね。
you a visit.
私の仲間がご挨拶に行くかも。
It certainly was a possibility, wasn't it? And I couldn't think of any other good reason for her to be in that hotel. If this is a delusion, then why are they just staring at each other waiting for one to talk? Because, like, that whole sequence after, like, Trigger On was his entire delusion. So he was having a delusion of the entire event. I couldn't think of any other good reason for her to be in that hotel. An awkward silence ensued as we waited for her to answer.
あなただったんですか？
So you were the
部屋に
Hikiko
入ったって
student
い
who
う
came
う
into
ちの
the
生徒
room?
は
Her tone of voice was perfectly normal. There was no surprise or anger, just a flat, level tone. But somehow, that struck me as far more frightening. Even so, I nodded.
言葉に出してもらっ
Can
て
you
もい
say
いです
that
か？
out loud for me instead of just nodding?
部屋に入ったの
Were
は
you the one who
あ
went
な
into
たで
that
すか？
room? What?
そ
Th-
そうだ
That's right.
そうですか。
I see. I couldn't tell if she cared or not.
あの
So
それ
what were you doing in that
ホテルで
hotel?
何を
部屋のドアが
I
勝
heard the
手に
door
開い
open on
て、
its own.
それで
And
入
let's
れ
say
た
you
そう
got
です
in.
ね。
Is that true?
それは本当ですか？
Huh? The door? The door opened on its own? She knew about that? I nodded.
言葉に出
Can you
し
say
ても
that
らっ
out
ても
loud
い
for
い
me
です
instead
か
of just nodding? Damn, she really is just giving him the whole police interrogation. Huh?
本当だ
It's
よ
true. It opened from the inside.
内側から。
そうですか
I see. Once again, she seemed to be looking me over. What was going on here?
有村さん
Arimura-san?
何
Is there
かあなた
something?
じゃあ
Anyway,
失礼します
goodbye. Arimura ignored Kurisu's question and went to leave.
ちょ
Wait,
っと
could you please explain?
何を
Oh, I wanted to be so polite.
それに
I'm
呼び捨
younger
てで
than
いいで
you.
す
And
後輩じゃないですかそれからあなた
you're going to be killed.
殺されますよ
Miyashiro to Kuri-senpai.
宮代
拓
拓先輩
I can't read. Of all the lines to flub up, a pretty serious one. Anyways. And those were her last words before she left the room. She didn't seem at all surprised when I had questioned her, but I froze solid. Yep, that was not a delusion. Oh my, IVC loves cats. Who put this on Hachiko? Who put those fucking sumo stickers on Hachiko? That's fucked up and evil. Why is she so damn close? I mean, how else are you gonna deliver a death threat like that? We're on to a bow. Where does the truth lie? Seeking that which is real. Palace and Castle Club present. That's funny. Creepy AF. This is a sumo sticker, isn't it? It actually looks kind of cute. Oh, trends. New Generation, Shibuya Murders, Episode 7 commentary. Speech in progress. Thank you. Moi Moi Q. My greatest failure, and we are. Interesting. It actually looks kind of cute. Congrats on 500 retweets. What the heck is this thing? Who put this on Hachiko lol lol lol? A sumo woofer. Congrats on 1,000 retweets. Give me a break. I loved Hachiko, but I don't care. Who put up... it's a quote. What's up with this thing? Cute, huh? This is hilarious. Retweet. Who put this on Hachiko? Yeah. Okay. Fascinating. October 2nd, 2015. Friday. At the same time. You feel like that was less of a threat and more of a prediction. Yeah, you're right, but still. Loganzaku Shibuya. The sky had been overcast all day, and now it had finally begun to rain. Some of the news media that had been swarming around the Love Hotel decided it was a good time to go home. Others just took refuge in their vans, frowning. Meanwhile, Shinjo's mind raced as quickly as the men trying to flee the storm.
どういうことなんだ
What's going on here? It all had started right after midnight. Arimura Hinae, the Hekiho girl, had refused to give even her name until she relayed Momose's message to her. Or he relayed. But as soon as she heard it, her attitude changed completely. His only choice now was to continue to do everything Momose's kid told him to do. The first thing she said was that there was almost no chance Arimura was the killer, and that it was safe to let her go. The second thing she said was that it would be smarter to let her go and see what she did. The third thing she said was that even if he did get some answers out of her, he wouldn't be able to make sense of them. Shinjo had used every bit of his authority to get her released. He'd been forced to suck up to some people he didn't really like. In the end, she would be monitored and questioned by the police daily. Since they hadn't known if she had anything to do with Kakita's death, they'd used her assault on the police officer to bring her in. Either way, last evening marked 48 hours since her arrest. They had to decide whether to let her go or seek a warrant for detention. They hadn't found any physical evidence connecting her to Kakita's murder, and Arimura herself, rather.
何も覚
I
えてい
don't
ません
remember anything. The ID? And that was all she said, in fact. Provisional release at this point felt like a bit of a stretch of his authority, but it was a sensible decision. If anything here was insensible, it was the fact that he was doing everything Momose's acquaintance asked of him. He didn't have a plan to follow. This was the first time that had happened, he thought. He only managed to be successful at his age around what Momose called the hard heads in Section 1, because he knew how to be flexible. The reason that many police officers could be stubborn and hard-headed was because most of the time, that was how you solved a case. Shinjo understood that the rules they clung to so fiercely, both written and unwritten, were the product of valuable experience. But he also understood that the unorthodox methods his senior detective friend had taught him were a weapon in their own right. Even if the higher-ups didn't like him using them, they brought him success. One good example was the time the profilers had told them that the person being a string of... oh my god, why can't I read? Sheesh. One good example was the time that the profilers had told them that the person behind a string of assaults was a man in his 20s who never left his house. He found out that the culprit was actually a runaway girl in her late teens who lived in a net cafe. He matched the internet logs that Section 1 had gathered with the data held by the CSD, a group that was on notoriously bad terms with Section 1. Short for the Community Safety Division, this division of Japan's National Police Agency is responsible for juvenile delinquency, particularly drug-related crimes, and cybercrimes such as unauthorized computer access, also known as hacking. It's hard for you to read too, don't worry. Yeah. It happens. I'm gonna do a cute little save, just in case. In the end, he cracked the case by logging onto an online game and tracking down several of its players, including the girl behind the attacks. Shinjo was, if nothing else, confident that he was capable of not letting preconceptions keep him from making the best choice. But this time, not only did he not know what was the best choice, he didn't even know if the choices he was making were good or bad. This is ending up just like Momose-san said it would. If he didn't change things fast, he might end up being taken off the case. He looked at his watch and realized something. The man he was waiting for wasn't here. Yeah, it cost him quite a bit to get permission to show him the crime scene, and he was over 30 minutes late. Momose said that there was no way I could miss him. He didn't know what he looked like, but there was no way the officer standing guard outside could miss him.
Hey, wait, you!
He heard a loud voice from the hallway. Shinjo decided that before he let him into the scene, he'd give him a lecture about his tardiness. He stopped, surprised. The girl? He didn't expect to see what he saw. He convinced himself that anyone weird enough to want to see a crime scene had to be a guy. That's what you get for your preconceived notions. But she looked like she'd be very pretty with makeup on, even if she wore none now. Her frown was plastered on her face, and her long hair was half-heartedly tied behind her back. She was also wearing a white lab coat, but under it was... a uniform? Isn't that... The uniform was for Heihekyo Academy, the same school Arimura and the two kids who snuck into the crime scene attended. Shinjo motioned to the officer to let her pass, and remembered the last name he'd been given by Momose. Are you Kunosato-san? Yeah. I leave it to you all.
So, you don't need my confirmation.
You know you're in Japan, right? Like, I don't mind less work for reading if she's gonna just speak in English, but...
Huh?
There's no time to waste, as you know. Here. Yeah.
Pretty good English, not gonna lie. You still can hear her accent, but it's pretty clear.
Well, I gotta nurse this damn cup. Okay. Later, Chris.
Kurisu? Kurisu? We know a Kurisu. She then hung up the phone and glared at Shinjo. She showed no sign of apologizing for her lateness or gawking at the scene of a murder. This is her. It has to be. When he saw how arrogantly she was behaving, he knew immediately that this had to be the Kusunoto person that Momose had told him about. He felt a little overwhelmed by her, but tried to make his voice as strong as he could.
Kunosato-san.
Are you
Kana?
Kusunoto-san? No, Momose-san. I figured I'd be ready for anything, but I can't let a young girl into a crime scene. Don't act normal when you're surrounded by things that aren't normal. Didn't she tell you that you would get in on your way? Hey! She ignored Shinjo's words and walked right past him. I like her. She stepped right on top of the number plates the forensics had put on the ground to identify the locations of evidence. Oh, come on, you don't do that. And then she looked at the blinds placed on the window to stop the media from looking outside and stopped. Shinjo felt himself getting annoyed by her attitude, particularly what she'd just said about him in English. Dumb cop or not, I'm going to do what I tell you, right now. People think that every corpse is dead. That's what makes it a corpse, right?
Huh?
Yeah, I agree. You got ears that can understand English, and you don't watch Fincher? Fictional, David Fincher, an American movie director. The line Kusunoto said is from the hit psychological suspense movie 8. I don't get it. She put her hand up to the blind that she'd been looking at. What are you doing? I'm asking if you really think this room is the only crime scene in this case. She kept her eyes on the exposed window. As she tossed him a Pokécom she fished out of her pocket. Shinjo grabbed it without thinking and looked down at it. He was stunned. It was footage of the room he was in right now. This is probably Kakita, dead, and Narimura Hanae. What is this? A video that was just uploaded to the web. Her answer made Shinjo feel pissed off at everything, including himself. Why didn't he notice? Why did he have to be shown this by a girl who he just met? From outside the window? He grabbed onto the window frame, looking for the spot where the video had been recorded from. I think it's the D.va that ended up being a link, that's my guess. Yeah. Maybe unless I ask about specific VAs, you can keep the VA discussion in the Discord, by the way. Just for future note. Because it ends up being a really long paragraph in chat, so... Did I finish reading this? I think so. I'll reread it again just for my own sake. I grabbed onto the window frame, looking for the spot where the video had been recorded from. But all he saw was the external wall of the building, slick with rain. There was only some kind of strange, creepy sticker there.
Oi!
Hey! Ginger yelled out into the hallway. The officer outside heard the tone of his voice and rushed inside. Shinjo pointed at the window and said, "Seal off the building next door right now, and get me forensics, and then track down where this video..." I don't know about the video, but you're probably not going to find anything next door. There's no sign of a camera having been placed on that wall. Huh? I copied the data of the security entrance and Phrygia's team is going over it, but we're probably not gonna find anything. We'd better not. She must have been enjoying this, because Kusunoto's frown twisted into a mischievous bully's expression. Again, he didn't understand. He didn't have time for this. He ignored her and ordered his men to seal the building, call forensics, and track down where the video was filmed. With that finished, he turned back to her. Is that why you were late? Focus on securing the scene. Channel picked up on this video right after it was posted, and it was uploaded only 40 minutes ago. More than 5,000 people have already seen it. You don't think any of them are with those media people down below? Wait, you can't! This is Watabe with Nikoniya News. I'd like your comment on... I'm with Kairiyuri TV. I'd like to ask you about... Get out, no pictures! You could hear yelling from coming... You could hear yelling coming from the hallway. There we go. Damn it. The net recorder again. Ginger ran out into the hallway, infuriated. I don't know, I was trying to say that wrong. Are you with Section 1? Did you see the video? Please don't come in without permission. We have no comments. No pushing. Did you see it or not? No comments. Fair. Kusunoto was still looking outside the window. She listened to the commotion in the hallway. She stuck her hands in her pockets and stared at the sticker on the opposite wall, the way a person... She stuck her hands in her pockets and stared at the sticker on the opposite wall, the way a person on top of a tall building stares down at the tiny people on the street below. Hey. How does it feel? The sticker pictured two ugly overlapping faces. The rain made it look like they were crying. If there were any witness, it was you, right? What's that little thing? Is that a bird? I can't tell. It's very shaped. Orb. Kusunoto smirked like a fighter facing down a worthy opponent. October 2nd, 2015, Friday. Time passed. It was now almost midnight. Under a bridge in Shibuya. She walked with her head down, so that others couldn't see her strange face. She was dragging her leg, so her body tilted a little. She didn't have an umbrella, so the rain that had fallen that evening made her long bangs cling to her forehead. Water dripped off of them. And the eerie eyes that poked out from between her locks of hair looked like those of an animal hunting its prey. No one was moving but her. Normally, there would be people here at this hour. But the town left her alone, as if it had sensed something. She disappeared into an alley without anyone else noticing her. It was several minutes later when they appeared there. A girl less than 10 years old, an old woman well over 70. I wouldn't have guessed that's a woman, not gonna lie. An old woman might have been blind, because she carried a stick and had her hand on the girl's shoulder. And the little girl was carrying something far too big for her tiny frame. Neither of them were carrying umbrellas, and both were soaking wet. And they walked at a slow pace. Perhaps they knew the path well, or perhaps they simply didn't care, because they paid no attention to anything around them. And then, for the first time, the little girl saw something and stopped. The old woman stopped as well. The only sound of the alley was the sound of the rain. Ellipsis. From the little girl. The girl stood there for a full minute. Eventually, she turned her head and led the older woman away. All that was left there was the rain. And the things on the wall. A video of the scene has been passed around on the internet. And the footage in question shows the body of a man who committed suicide in a love hotel. It was past midnight. All the news programs were talking about the video that had been uploaded to the internet that afternoon. Since there was a dead body in the video, none of the programs were actually playing it, but the newscasters had all described it. It was as if they were telling people to watch the rest on the web. Which means the people who are just hearing about this now will be looking at the internet, huh? Topo was the best way to see what people were saying at any given moment. I opened it and took a look. Where can you see the thing that they're talking about on TV? This is getting exciting. Link. I saw it, but I should have known better than to watch it this late at night. Someone tell me a funny joke or something. That's about what I expected. Whenever I searched for a keyword related to the case, I found tons of tweets about the video and the news broadcast. Not just of any page or aggregator site hosting the video was getting retweeted at an incredible rate. And of course, this was nothing new. That channel had already been in festival mode since the video had first been posted that evening. The video on the aggregator wiki had been quickly deleted, but someone had saved it and uploaded it to a bunch of other sites. Those sites had deleted it too, so others had repeated the process. Festival, a state of furious excitement on an internet message board or site, where people are commenting en masse about a particular subject. The term comes from the similar high enthusiasm seen on the streets during actual Japanese festivals. After the news, the threads on the @channel had gotten bigger. Revolving dead, huh? That sounds like it's going to be what they call it. I didn't know who'd come up with that name, but more and more people on that channel were using it. It's probably a play on the revolving bed the body had been found on. Since the body had been spinning too, the case was literally about the revolving dead. That channel, Twipo, and all the aggregator sites and pages dealing with the case were in uproar. I looked around and didn't see any new information. I'd seen it in person myself. I could easily tell when someone was lying or guessing. It's past midnight. What about this? And there's no big updates on Shibuya news either. The top of the page was about the uploaded video, but it was basically just rehash of existing information. I thought that with all this fuss, she'd be putting on a web radio broadcast. But maybe she was busy. There was nothing about the sumo stickers or Arimura-san. Which made sense, I guess. Even Kei-san wasn't psychic. Only we and the police knew about Arimura-san, and only we knew about the stickers. The sumo stickers. Damn it. I did plan to check and see if there was a sticker around the scene of audio beats today. You're going to be killed, Miyashiro Takuru-senpai. I couldn't get the words she whispered out of my head. In the end, it had started raining, and I'd gone with Ito's plan of trying to get more information about the video and learn more about Arimura-san. I hadn't made much progress with either. Of course, it had surprised me that Kurisu hadn't said anything. What does she mean by I'm going to be killed? And the question came back to me again for the 100th time, and I still had no answer. What was she warning me about? Why had she told me I was going to be killed? Had I pissed her off somehow? No, it felt more like she was talking about someone else killing me. Then maybe it didn't matter if she hated me or not. And the timing didn't make sense either. We weren't talking about anything weird, we were just talking about the case. Was she telling me that if I kept looking into this, I would be killed? But that didn't make sense either. The police had ruled the death at the Love Hotel as suicide. It was a strange way to kill yourself, sure, and after seeing it, I couldn't believe it was just a simple suicide, but... did that mean Kakita had been murdered after all? Murdered by whoever had tried to come into the room? But the police had told me I'd been mistaken, and Ito had told me I couldn't prove it logically. Damn it. It was no good. It didn't make any sense. I was going to be killed? Had I crossed some line? I'm going to be killed. Miyashiro Takuru. I tried saying it aloud and shivered a little. Was I scared or... was I excited? I could feel myself starting to laugh. And that was fine. That was just fine with me. If I'd crossed some line, I'd find out what it was. That was the difference between me and those morons on the internet. I could do it. I had lots of clues. The first was Arimura Hinae herself. And then... the sumo stickers. I'd only seen them at 2 of the crime scenes so far, but if I could find one on audio bleed too, I'd have a clue that no one else in the world had. I should go take a look tomorrow. There was that video that had gotten uploaded to the internet. You had to opt it and why?
Huh?
I played the video one more time, then realized something. Wait a second. Why? Here too? It was a common thing you'd found in videos, so I never really noticed until now, but... I hadn't seen any comments on the internet saying anything about it either, but... why did they use this effect? There's something weird at the start and end of the video. It was on screen for less than a second. By the start, the image appeared from bottom to top. And then at the end, it went black from top to bottom. These weren't particularly unusual effects. The one at the start was often used in TV shows and movies when a character woke up. Of course, this is when the camera was showing his point of view. The one at the end was often used when a character was falling asleep or just before they passed out. Sometimes you could play both at high speed to make it look like someone was blinking. It was called a wipe. It was a method of transitioning video from one image to another.
Huh?
I definitely noticed that like the first time, but didn't think to question it. This video was clearly taken from next to the Love Hotel, and almost perfectly at eye level. Video recording terminology refers to the height a camera is placed at. You too? You wondered why no one commented on it? I mean, I'm gonna go with the reason why I didn't choose to comment on it. Probably just like easy to gloss over and not think about it, but it is odd. It's just like one of those things, like, that's strange, but your brain just skips over it to continue on type of thing. Fascinating. From the distance and angle, that much was clear. I spent so much time looking through a camera that I knew how to judge the distance between it and the things it saw. I was sure that if I asked the rest of the newspaper club, they'd agree. But the side of the building was where the video was taken. But the side of the building where the video was taken was a sheer wall. I could see that for myself from the video I'd taken. The only things I could see outside the window were a wall and the sticker, rather. The uploaded video looked like it had been taken from someone's eyes. Well, sonome daru no me? Suddenly, a dumb idea occurred to me. I looked at the picture of the sticker on the wall that I'd printed out. Nah. I shook my head to drive away that stupid illusion. I need to stay calm and logical. Tomorrow I could go see where the camera had probably been placed. And I think you're onto something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable reaction. Ame-chan. One person in chat. El Lucas has joined the channel. 2 people in chat. I apologize for being late. The test images? Spreading through Shibuya, as expected. Continue to monitor the situation. Yes, and the target? I'm close enough to kill Miyashiro Takuru at any time. I didn't get to finish reading the conversation, but okay. Chapter 2, Sumo Sticker. The cases cry their name. Cry, you say? Shoot. Okay. So, I unfortunately was very off with my guess of how much was left of chapter 1. Makes me kind of regret starting an hour early. I'll go ahead and do a cute little official save and go to the title menu and I'll speak my thoughts. Okay. So, I was definitely wrong about the pacing of this game. Because if there was like only like an hour left, it's like, okay, could totally knock out a chapter at a time. But I think we might have to do each chapter in like 2 parts. Which honestly, not horrible. I feel like it'll be a lot more bearable than doing like we did, doing that like for Robotics Notes. I think Robotics Notes was setting the stage for the longer chapters, to be honest. I should have seen this coming. So yeah, I think that will be the plan. We'll also be ending here, because I don't think I have enough brain cells to do something else, because, well, this does feel kind of early-ish for ending stream. Shrugs. Yeah. Now I just noticed that the game, like, stopped recording at some point after chapter 2 started. That's weird. Because the game is running just fine. Well, at least it happened then. That means you guys didn't get to see what were the next words. Haha. Anyways, that was weird. But that's okay. That kind of worked out. I'm gonna go ahead and exit the game. I know sometimes things go weird when the game like gets close to interesting that happened at that point. Anyways, there we go. Come on, change my OBS scene too. You can do that. There you go. Perfect. But yeah, I think that'll be the plan. We won't be doing any whole chapters at a time, because last week's stream ended up like even cutting out like extra stuff still was like 4-5 hours, and the prologue was just an hour of that, so that was like 3 hours, and then like roughly another 3 hours here. I don't think I have it in me to do 6-hour streams. So yeah, so we'll just be splitting up chapters into 2 parts. Now we understand our pacing. I do think it should be feasible for us to do like endings in one go, like a chapter, but we'll just have to see when we get to that point. Because if this is going to be anything like Chaos Head, there's going to be 10 chapters, so we got a hot minute before we have to worry about that anyway. So, yeah. I am looking forward to seeing how things keep going, though. I'm really enjoying Chaos Child so far. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well, because that is always a goal. Tomorrow we'll be starting another new game. We'll be starting Somnium Files, Eye of the Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative, because it happened to go on sale, and Peachy was able to pick it up for us to be able to play. So yay. We'll be starting that tomorrow. I'm really excited for that. I remember in our last stream for that, it was mentioned that that picks up directly from that true ending, so that'll be exciting. And I'm glad it hasn't been too long, so it should still be fairly fresh in our heads. And if you guys do need a refresher on how that ended, I would recommend just watching the edited video that's been up for a couple of weeks now. Ish. I don't remember how long it's been, but it's up now. So you can watch that on YouTube and get that little refresher. Yeah, let me hunt down a raid victim for Twitch, because I can't raid on YouTube. I know they have like a similar mechanic to raiding, but I think you have to be partner for that, right? Like partner proper, not just like, oh, slight monetization. I could be wrong though. I just know for a fact there's no way in hell I can, so I think I'll raid Lita. They're currently doing a 3 years and 500 followers subathon. They currently have 32 hours left on their timer. Damn. I'm not sure what game they're playing, because their tag is just special events. So, yeah. We'll be raiding Lita. Yeah, if Axo is still here for whatever reason, thank you once again for the raid earlier, Axo. I do appreciate it. I do like when everyone feels comfortable enough with me to share their communities. Yeah. I will catch you all guys next time, be it tomorrow or next week, whenever you're able to next join in. And yeah, thumbs up. You can sense the brain cells in my head melting. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye everyone. Bye.